Hello everyone, I'm Jeevan Raj, a data science coach at Ematicus Learning. I have more than 4 years of experience in BI analyst. Today I'll guide you through end-to-end business intelligence project. This session will help you to understand the complete process from data gathering to report sharing. By the end of this session, you will have a comprehensive understanding of full life cycle of business analyst, and you'll also be very confident to take any reports and you can build complete end-to-end projects. So without any further ado, let me explain what is Power BI and why you want to choose Power BI to solve these business use cases. Hello everyone. Today we will be dealing with ice cream sales analysis. To solve this particular problem statement, I'll be using Power BI as a tool to do this insights. So why we are choosing a Power BI as a tool to do the business analysis job? For example, Power BI helps us to perform by using the Power Query editor. We can modify the data because the data is not completely cleaned, right? So we can also do data modeling where we have the data from different source where we can use data modeling to join all the table, and also we can share the reports. So I'll be teaching you through complete end-to-end process how you can do the data modeling, how you can do the editing of your data because you'll be using some of the calculated fields, etc. So without further ado, we'll start. So here is one of the problem statement where we want to understand the sales insights of ice cream sales analysis. So the first thing, whenever you join any of the company as a business analyst, you'll be getting the BRD or the FRD, where BRD is nothing but a business requirement document and FRD is nothing but a functional requirement document, where you will be getting it from the client or the stakeholders. So in this business requirement document, you'll be having a data gathering process. So the first task that as a business analyst, what you do is data gathering. So the data will not be sitting in one particular place. So the data will be present in the different source. So as a data analyst or as a business analyst, you want to gather all the data from different source and you want to keep it at one particular report. To do that, they have been provided some details. They are telling that assemble a sales report with different visuals to best show your sales insights in one page dashboard. Feel free to your own imagination to best represent your data as available. Actually, they have presented that category is present in the Excel format, geography is present in Excel format, and sales representative is also present in the Excel format. But the product is present in the CSV, that is nothing but comma separated values, or else it is sitting in the database. So I will be helping you in both the way how you want to extract the data from CSV or else through the database server. So the data is sitting, subquery is sitting in the format of Excel and sales is also present in the folder format. I will be explaining you how you want to gather the data from different source. So the first step, let me go and explain you where the data is present. So you can see in the dimension table, the data is present like categories. So the data is unclean. Can you see here? First few records is unclean where unnecessary information is present and the data is starting from 5th row. So again, I want to do some modifications to my data. To do some modifications, we use Power Query Editor. So I'll be also helping you out how to use Power Query Editors to solve these type of problems. So without any further ado, let me open Power BI desktop. So you can go for search, you can search it for Power BI desktop. So this is how the Power BI desktop interface looks like. You can just click on this blank report. So you are with your blank report where we have home tab, insert, modeling, view, etc. Different tabs we have. Below the tabs, we have the ribbons. I'll be explaining in detail what exactly each tab and each ribbons will help you out. Now you click on get data and then you can click on more to access multiple source of data. The data is sitting in the Excel format, so I will select the Excel workbook. I can select it 2 times or else I can click on connect button. So now it is asking for me the file, so I will go for business requirements or else dimensions table. So in the dimensions table, I have category table. I will select the category. I will click on open. So you can see a navigator tab is open to you. We have two different tables that is present. The first table is a cleaned one, that is cleaned by Power BI. The second one is uncleaned information. So I will explain you in the both the way what if the data is cleaned or uncleaned, how we want to clean your data. Let me select the unclean data for now and explain you how you want to clean it manually. If you want to clean your data, you want to select transform data. If you click on this transform data, this will redirect to the Power Query editor. Let me click on this transform data. So you can see here, this interface we call it as Power Query editor. Whenever you want to do any modification, you can use this Power Query editor. So you can see first few record is empty, we have null information. So what I can do, I want to remove the first two rows. So there is an option in Power BI to remove the first few rows. There is an option called remove rows. I will select the remove rows. There is a first option called remove top rows. I will select it. So it is asking me specify how many rows to remove from the top. So I want to remove first two rows. So I will present 2 and I will click on OK. So you can see here the first two rows has been removed. As you see here, the header name is presented as category info and column 2, but actually the first row is your header. So you want to promote your first row as an header. So let me go here. There is an option called use first row as header. I will click on this. So you can see the first row has promoted as header. So where do I see all these changes? Can I do Control Z to go back? No. In Power Query Editor, there is no Control Z option to go back. You can see on the right hand side, there is an applied steps. So this is your source and navigation. From this, these are the changes that you have performed. If you want, you can modify it. What are the changes that you have done? If you want, you can remove it as well. So here you can find the data type. So you can see these are the data types. What I've done here is I can also see how many information is valid, how much percent of information is error and empty. So I can go to the view tab. In the view tab, I have column quality. Column quality will help me to understand what is the quality of my data. Always there should be 100% valid information. You can see here, always there should be an 100% valid. So you can click on this column distribution. Column distribution will help you how the data is distributed. Is it a normal distribution or uniform distribution? So if you are done with all the changes, you can go to Home tab and you can click on Close and Apply. So what this does is it will close the Power Query Editor and it applies all the changes that has been done in Power Query Editor to Power BI Desktop. You can see on my right hand side there is an data. So the category information is loaded successfully. So now I want to load each and every file. What I will do, I will go for the dimensions table. The category is successfully loaded. Now I want to load the geography table. To load the geography table, I will again do the same thing. You can click on this get data and you can access for more than 200 plus connections. But for now, I can easily click on this Excel workbook. I can click on this geography table. After selecting the geography table, as I mentioned you before, we have two tables that is present. One is uncleaned and the other one is cleaned by Power BI. I will select this information which is cleaned. I will click on load for now. Again, we want to do some modifications. Let me do it on later on stage. Now you can see the geography table is loaded. If you want to rename this particular information, you can double tap this, mention it as geography. Again, I will go to the Home tab. I will click on Excel workbook. Now let me load the sales representative information. So this sales representative information is nothing but which person has made the sales. As I told you, we have two tables which has the table like structure with whereas blue on the top, that is cleaned one. I will select the cleaned one. I will click on load. Again, the sales information also loaded. I will again click on Excel workbook. I will select the subcategory. I will click on open. So this subcategory is also loaded. For now, I've loaded all the 4 different files. Now what will I do? I will see the requirements. So I've loaded all these 4 files. I also want to load the product table. To load the product table, what I will do? The product table is sitting in the CSV file. I will click on this get data. I will go to this text or CSV. Here you can see the product table is visible because it is in the CSV format. You can select in this way, or else if you have selected the Excel workbook, you can go to this Excel files and select all files. So it is least bother it is from Excel or CSV or PDF, all the files that is present will be displayed. I will select this product and I will click on open. So you can see the CSV file has been successfully opened in the navigator tab. So I will click on load. I want to do changes. I will do it later on by using Power Query Editor. So as I mentioned you, the CSV file can be loaded, or else you can load it through database as well. So this is how you can load it through CSV. I will also explain you how to load it in database. For now, let me remove this. If you want to remove any of the table that is also present, you can click on these 3 dots. There is an option called delete from model. Click on this delete from model. It will ask you the permission. Are you sure you want to delete the particular product table? Click on yes. So the product table is successfully deleted. So now I will guide you how to load the product table through database. I will open my SQL server. So click on local instance. I will create a new file, script file. I will create a new database for now. Consider the database as like ice cream sales analysis. Create database name, that is ice cream sales analysis. I will load it. In this ice cream sales analysis, first I want to use it because I have multiple databases that are available in my schemas. So what I will do, I will write use the database name. So if you refresh this, so somewhere the ice cream sales analysis is highlighted, right? So now what will I do? I will import the product table. So how do I import the product table? You want to right click here on the table. There is an option called table data import wizard. Click on this table data import wizard. It will ask you for the path where the particular file is present. Go to browse. The file is present in the YouTube creation project on Power BI dimension. This is your product table. So let me click on next. It is asking you use the existing table or create a new table. I have not created any table here, so I will ask SQL to create a new table. I'll go to next. I will go next. It is telling that I'm preparing for importing the data. That's great. I'll click on next and finish. So overall 17 records has been imported. How do you see what are the data that has been imported? You can just write a simple query called select star from the table name. What is the table name? The table name, if you want to see, you can just refresh it here. And the table name is product. So you can see all the information that is present in the product table, right? So now I want to load this particular product information. So what I can do, I will go to this Power BI. I will click on get data. So there is no MySQL server that is present here. To view multiple different source, you can click on more. So this is the multiple connections that I can connect from different servers. One is through Excel, CSV, XML file, JSON, folder, PDF, etc. But for this use case, I want to load it through MySQL server. So what I can do, I can just select this database and I can find MySQL server here. This is your MySQL database. Or else you can also type MySQL. So you can see the same database is available. Select this and click on connect. Whenever you connect, it will ask you for the server name and as well as the database name. So what is the server name? Go to this MySQL server. Always your server name by default will be localhost, but whenever you are working in an organization, the host will be different. So you can go to this session, you can find the name of the host. I will paste the host name as localhost and the database name I have created as ice cream sales analysis. I will paste this. I will click on OK. It will take few time. Can you see here? I have created a new navigator tab. I will click on this ice cream sales analysis. So this is the alternative way of loading the data if the data is sitting in the database. I will click on load. Now we have learned what are the various ways of extracting the data from different sources. We have learned how to load the data from Excel. Along with that, you learned how to load the data from CSV file. Along with that, you have learned how to load the data from database. That's great. They are also asking you directly load the data from folder. Why I want to load the data from folder? I have mentioned here. I want to create a mechanism to load all the files from the sales folder in a single fact table. So why I want to load this from the folder? Because whenever I remove any information from the folder or whenever I add any information to that particular folder, there should be no error that should generate in the dashboard or the reports once it is published. So it should be completely dynamic, right? So I want to create such mechanism. So whenever I remove any files from the sales folder, that should not create any error of missing files. Or else if you add any new folder or else nothing but 2025 or 2026, whenever I add any new year sales information to the particular folder, it should automatically getting loaded. It should not throw any error or it should get refreshed automatically. That is what the scenario here. So I'm suggesting you to directly load from the folder. So you can see the sales folder I've divided into two different ways. One is sales of 2014, 15 and 16 and 17. I will also help you to understand how to append the data. I will select the 2014 sales. I will select this particular path. I will go to this Power BI. I will click on this get data. I will click on more. I will go to this folder. Click on connect. It will ask you for the path. Go here. Select the path. Copy it and paste the path. Click on OK. Now it is asking you, this is your binary of your data. We have two different files. One is 2014 sales and the 2015 sales. You can just click on this combine option. There is an option called combine and load. If you select this combine and load, it will perform an append operation. If you use combine and transform data, it will append it and it will redirect to the Power Query editor. But if you directly click on this load, it will be in separate different files. But I don't want the separate different files. I want 2014, below that I want 2015. So I want to combine both the files. I will click on combine and load. So there will be one sales table that has been loaded. Let me click on this OK. This is your combined file. This is how the final output looks like. So if there is any errors, you can skip it. You can click on OK. So it takes some time to load it. Can you see the entire table has been loaded? So sales of 2014 and 2015. So this table consists of two different sales of 2014 and 2015. It has combined it. So now I have loaded all the different files which is sitting from different sources, but I have not yet modified it. I have not yet edited it. How do you modify your data? Because if you go to this table view, you can see category table is cleaned, but geography table is uncleaned. If you go for sales representative table, this is also uncleaned, right? And then sales table, fact table is also uncleaned, subcategory table also uncleaned. Some modification needs. So this is your product table. Let me rename this table name as product, right? So now to modify your table, you can go to the Power Query editor. You can go to the Home tab, click on Transform Data. If you select Transform Data, it will redirect to the Power Query editor. If you get any errors while loading it, there is a problem that you have not set the state to United States. Go to Files, there is an Options and Settings. Go to this Options and Source Settings. You will see these are the files that has loaded. If it is properly loaded, then fine. If it is not loaded, you can go to Files, Options and Settings. Select the options. Select these options. In this options, you can find somewhere regional settings. Select this regional settings and change the local from import format from English United States. If it is English India, it will not recognize the date properly. So change it to English United States, right? So what are the changes needs to be done? I have clearly mentioned the first changes that till here we have loaded successfully. Now data has been modified. To modify your data, go to Transform Data, go to Category Table. Category Table is completely cleaned. That's good. Go to Geography Table. So Geography Table needs some modifications. We'll do it later. Go to Sales Table. So this Sales Table should have a relationship with Sales Representative Table, right? So this Sales Representative and Sales Table should have a relationship. So to make a relationship, there should be a common column. To find the common column, you can see here Sales Representative ID in the Sales Rep and Sales Representative ID in Sales Table. So these are the common table. But the problem here is, here the unique information as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But over Sales Representative, the information is ID space hyphen space 6, ID space hyphen space 7. So I want to remove this ID space hyphen space. To do that, what I can do, I will right click on this. There is an option called Replace Values. You can find here, or else you can also find in the Home tab. Go to this Home tab. You can find Replace Values. You can select this. Both are one and the same. You want to replace what with what, they are asking. The first thing, you want to replace ID space hyphen space with empty record. So keep it as blank. Click on OK. So now we can see the data is updated properly. So the same information is present here. Now sales representative information is completely cleaned. Now I want to perform the same for subcategory. So category and subcategory needs to be joined or needs to make a relationship. To make this relationship, in the category table we have 1 and 2. In the subcategory table we have category as ID space 1, ID space hyphen space 2, etc. So I want to do some modification for category information as well. To do that, I will go to this category table, right click, click on this replace values. Here there is an option called value to find. As I mentioned before, you want to replace ID space hyphen space with empty record. Click on OK. So you can see all this information got modified. But the first record is not get changed because you can see here where ID space hyphen space, but in the first record there is no space after hyphen, right? So what you can do it one more time. Right click, replace values, mention ID space hyphen this time. Click on OK. So this table is completely cleaned. Now we can make a relationship between category table and subcategory table with the common column as category. Now category table is cleaned, geography table is uncleaned, but sales table is cleaned, subcategory table is cleaned, product table is uncleaned. So I can make a relationship with this product table with sales table, but the common column here is product ID. So I will go to product table. I want to remove first few rows, that is first 3 rows. What I can do, I will go to this option called remove rows. So it is asking how many rows I want to remove. So remove top rows. So number of rows wants to remove, that is nothing but first 3 rows that I want to remove. I will click on OK. So you can see over here the first 3 records has been completely removed. Again I want to do some modification where my first row should be my header. So I want to promote my first row as my header. So what I can do, I will click on this, use first row as header. So the first row is promoted as header. As you all know that whenever we make a relationship from one table to other table, there should be a primary key and foreign key relationship. There is a concept of parent and child relationship. A parent table is nothing but a table which contains primary key, and the child table is nothing but which contains the foreign key. In the parent table, that is nothing but in the primary key, there should be no duplicates or it should not be any null values. Primary key is nothing but the combination of not null plus unique. But you can see here in the product table, the product ID acts as a primary key, but the product ID as a duplicate information, whereas product ID 7 and 10. So product ID 7 is mango flavor, right? You can see here mango flavor, and product ID 10 is almond. So I want to again do some modification where I want to remove the duplicate values. I will go to this product ID column. I will go remove rows. I will click on remove duplicates. So you can see how Power Query is more powerful to do all these data modifications. So here I am not writing any DAX functions or any EM language. So I am just doing some clicks here and there. I am just dragging it and I am just selecting some clicks over here. But in the backend, there is an M code that has been written for me. Can you see, this is the information that has been written for me. This code is called as M code, that is mashup code, mashup language. So now I can make a relationship with product table and your sales table. Now I want sales table with 2014, 2015. Along with that, I also want to see 2016 and 2017 sales. To add that sales, what I can do, I can go to this get source. I will click on this more option. There's an option called folder. I can directly load that folder and I can do the changes. Or else, as I mentioned you before, let me go here. I will go to this 2016. I will copy this information. I will go to this 2014, 2015 sales. I will paste it. I will go to this Power BI. I will just click on this refresh preview. So once it is refreshed, if you click on this drop down, if you click on load more, can you see here 26 data automatically it has been loaded. So this is the power of loading directly from the folder rather than individual files. If you add any files, it will get refreshed. If you remove any files, it will not throw any error by missing as a values or missing as a files. Now I also want to load the 2017 sales. To load 2017 sales, what I can do, I will explain you in different ways. If you have not loaded through folder, what is the other way that you can do it is, you can click on this new source. So I will load this as a file. So I will select the Excel workbook. I will go to this 2016, 2017. It is not in the Excel file, it is in the CSV file. So select this values and click on load. So click on OK. So the information is loaded, 2017 sales is loaded. But you can see number of columns that is present is 8 columns, but in the sales table we have 9 columns. Whenever you do append, the number of columns and the data type should be same of both the table. Append, what it does in the sense, it will add the rows, but joins, it will add the columns. Now I will explain you how you want to perform the append operation. So now to perform the append operation, I will click on this append query as new. So that will create a new table for me. So it is asking me whether you want to append 2 table or 2 or more table. So if you want to append only the 2 table, you can just select this 2 table. It is asking what is the first table and what should be the second table. If you have multiple table, you can select 3 or more table. So for an example or for an instances, we have 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18. So if you have multiple files, at that particular case, you can go for 3 or more tables to append. But for my use case, I have only 2 tables that I want to append for. So I will go for 2 table. I will select the secondary table as my 2017 sales. I will click on OK. So you can see here the new table has been created for you. That is the functionality of append query as new. So the new table will create it and it will not affect the previous or original table. If you use append query, it will affect the original table. So that is the major difference between append query and append query as new. So if you want, I will show you again. I will delete this. So now I will affect the original table by using append query rather than using append query as new. So first select the 2014 sales, because in the 2014 I want 2017 below that, right? So first select the primary table, that is 2014 sales. Click on this append query. So they are asking the what is the table name to be append. So I want to append the 2017 sales. Select 2017 sales. Click on OK. So you can see here 2017 sales is appended. Now I will change this table name as final sales. Click on OK. Now this is my final sales. So do I really require this 2017 sales now? No, because I already appended it. You can delete this. I don't require this anymore. I can just click on delete button. You can delete it. Next, what you can do, I want to make a relationship with geography table with sales table. To make the relationship with geography table with sales table, I want to have common column. But do we have any column in the geography table? No, there is no such common column in the geography table. If you see here, we have column 1 and column 2. So some tweaks required here, where I want to promote my first row as my header. So I will click on this use first row as an header option. So that has promoted my first row as my header information. So the next thing is where I don't have any common column. There may be case where in India we have an city as Bangalore. There may be chances in other country also there may be same city information. So we cannot consider country as your primary key to make a relationship. So if you go to this final sales, there is a column called location. In the location, the information is provided in this way. One is your country and the other one is your city, right? Where Germany, Dresden, Germany, Hamburg, and India, Chennai, etc. So now I want to split the location into 2 different halves. One is your country and the other one is city. To do so, you can right click on this. There is an option called split column. Click on the split column. So they are asking you want to split column based on the delimiter or based on the number of characters. There is no fixed number of characters, but there is a delimiter called semicolon. So I will select the first option called by delimiter. So once you select by delimiter, there is an information that is popped up, split the column by delimiter. So what is the delimited value? So the delimiter is, as I mentioned, that is semicolon. They are asking you split the leftmost information or rightmost information or each occurrence of delimiter. I want both city along with the country. So I will select each occurrence of delimiter. If you want to see how many columns that will generate after performing this split, you can just click on this advanced option. In this advanced option, you can see there is 2 columns that will generate after performing the splitting. So if you are satisfied, you can click on OK button. Can you see here how easily it has been splitted a 2 column? If you want to do the same process in Python, you want to have a good understanding of programming language. But in Power BI, you don't require all this. You can do some simple clicks that will able to extract or that will able to bifurcate or split into 2 halves based on the specified delimiter. That's great. Now, I also want to rename this column. Rather than column 1 or location 1, I want to change this as country and location 2 should be replaced as city. I will go to this location 1. I will double tap this. I will rename the column name as country. Click on enter. So how easily it has been changed, and where the changes is updated, the updated changes is applied in the applied steps. The same thing I want to do it for location 2 column as well. I will go here, I can right click, I can provide a rename column, right, or else I can double tap it and I can change it. Both the way I can perform. If you want to do this, you can go here, there is an option called rename. I will click on this rename, I will rename it as city. I will click on enter. Can you see how simple it is? So the changes is updated here. That's great. But in the geography table, I have only country information. Where do I see the city information? I can see the city in Wikipedia link. Can you see here? Each Wikipedia has multiple information, whereas India has 3 Wikipedia link. One is for Mumbai, other one is for Bangalore, and the other one is for Chennai. So I want to split it into 3 columns, whereas United States has only 1 Wikipedia link, that is New York as a city. Germany has again 3 Wikipedia link, one is for Hamburg and the other one is for Berlin and Dresden. So I want to divide it into 3 different columns which is present in the Wikipedia. To do so, what I can do, I want to split based on the comma, right? So that will separate into 3 different columns. So as I explained you before, I want to right click on this. There is an option called split columns and by delimiter. What is the delimiter here? The delimiter will be comma. But a Power BI is suggesting me select the delimiter as /, but actually it is not /, it should be comma. If you want to change, go to the select or enter the delimiter, change this information from the drop down to comma. So they are asking either you want leftmost, rightmost or each occurrence of delimiter. So for me, I want each occurrence of delimiter. So if you want to see how many columns that will generate, it will generate the 3 columns. You can see split into 3 columns. Click on OK. As I told you before, it will create a 3 columns. It is created now. That's great. Now I want to do the cross join where country of India multiplied with Mumbai, India multiplied with Bangalore, India with Chennai. So I want in the row wise, I want to unstack it. To do so, I can select this country, I can right click on this, there is an option called unpivot other columns. So it will unpivot, it will transpose from row to column, it will perform the cross join kind of operations. Click on this unpivot other columns. Can you see? So India with Mumbai, India with Bangalore and Chennai. That's great. Now, I want to extract only the city information from this value. How do I do that? Again, I want to right click on this. There is an option called split columns by delimiter. Now, I want to select the forward slash. Do I require each and every occurrence? No. I want only the last occurrence. That is nothing but rightmost occurrence. I will select the rightmost occurrence. I will click on OK. Now, can you see here? It has been extracted the rightmost information, not all the information, right? I will rename the column name as city. I will click on enter. Now, the city has been extracted from the particular Wikipedia link. Now, I have country and city. As you know that whenever you join two different tables, there should be a common column. But here we have two different columns that needs to make the relationship. So that is a case where the concept of surrogate key comes into picture. What is surrogate key? Whenever you want to understand any programming languages, for example, consider you're understanding an key concepts in SQL. So a surrogate key is nothing but when you don't have any natural primary key that is present in the table, at that particular time you will create a new table or new column that acts as a primary key, that is called surrogate key. Now, the information is present in the format of composite key. What is composite key? A composite key is nothing but a two columns which helps you to make an unique information, right? A combination of columns which helps you to identify each rows, that is called composite key. Now I have a composite key here. The combination of country and city is used to identify the unique information. But I also want to create a new column as primary key here. So that is just a temporary primary key, that is called as surrogate key. To create a new column, what I can do, I will go for tab called add columns. There is an option called index column. Click on this drop down. In this drop down, they are asking whether the index should start from 0 or the index should start from 1. I want the index should start from 1. Click on from 1. Can you see there is a new column that is created? I will rename this column as geo key. I will rename this column as geo key. I will click on enter. I will drag this completely to the front. So how the geo key is formed now? Whenever there is an information of country as India and city as Mumbai, the unique identifier as 1. If the country is India and city as Bangalore, the unique identifier is 2. Whereas the country is India and city is Chennai, the unique identifier is 3. So this is how you can able to create the surrogate key when there is no primary key or when there is no natural primary key that is present in the table. You are creating a new column that acts as a primary key, that is called surrogate key. So you learned various key concepts as well here. Now that's great. As I told you, now I want to make a relationship with geography table with sales table. Do I have geography key in the sales table? No, there is no geography key in the sales table. So I want to create a new column that also consists of geo key in the sales table. So what kind of operation I want to do? As I told you before, whenever you do append, it will add the rows. But now I don't want to add the rows, but instead I want to add the column. To do so, I want to perform join. In Power BI, instead of join, we also call it as merge. I'll go to this home tab. There is an option called merge query. What is merge? Merge is nothing but it will try to add a table from different table. For example, it is acting as an adding a new column that is present in the other table. It is performing a join operation. That's it. I will go to this drop down. I will click on this merge query as new. So I am going to create a new table. I am not affecting the original table. This is my final sales table. It is asking, I want to make a relationship with what table? I want to make a relationship with geography table, because from the geography table, I want to extract the geo key column, because I want some primary key that is present and foreign key. So in the final sales table, a geo key acts as a foreign key for me, but in geography table, it acts as a primary key. But now the data is sitting in the format of composite key. What is composite key? As I mentioned before, the two columns that uniquely identifies the record in the table, right? That is nothing but the combination of columns that uniquely identifies the record. So what are the combination of columns? One is country and city. So in both the table, we have country and city. Select the country information in the final sales table. Use control and select the country in the geography table. Along with that, use control and city in final sales table, control city in the geography table. Can you see there is a relationship called 1 with 1, and in the final sales of city as 2 and geography of city as 2. So also it is telling the selection match of almost 54,530 records has been a relationship. That's great. I will click on OK. So you can see the new table has created. So that is the combination of sales table along with the geography table. If you scroll to the right, you can see there is a new table that is added, that is geography table. So it performed the joins operation. Do I require all the column? No, not at all. I don't require all the column. I just want to extract geo key. Why I am doing all these operations? I am doing all the operations because there is a concept of normalization in SQL, right? What is normalization? The normalization is the process of organizing your data in order to avoid data duplication or redundancy of the table. If you see here, the country and city is repeated multiple times, right? What happens if the information is repeated multiple times? The size of the data is gradually increasing. I want to avoid it because there is a problem of storage, right? There is a duplicate information is presented multiple times. To overcome this, I am performing all these operations. I am converting the denormalized data to normalized form. So now I will expand this geography table that is present in the sales table. I will rename this as sales. So I will expand it. I don't require all the columns. I just want the geo key column. So unselect everything. Select the geo key column. It is asking, should I want to use original name as a prefix? For an example, geography key of geography table. This is how it looks. From the geography table, I am extracting the geography key. So do I want any prefix? Actually, I don't want any prefix here. I don't want from which table it is coming from, because I already know it is coming from the geography table. So I will unselect this. I will click on OK. Can you see here? It has created a new column called geo key. So now the geo key is present in the sales table. Along with that, it is present in the geography table. So now can you make a relationship? Yes. Now you can easily make a relationship. So what you can do? You can add this geography table between the country and city. Now you can see the information like whenever there is a Germany, country and city as Dresden, the geo key has 7. The same thing you can find in geography table. Whenever the country has Germany and city as Dresden, the geo key is 7. I will go back. I will compare few more different columns. For example, country as India and city as Chennai, the geo key is 3. I will compare the same thing is present In the geography table, I will go for geography table, whereas India as a country and Chennai as a city, the geo key is 3. That's great. It is matching now. So do I really require this country and city anymore? No, I don't require, because I already make the relationship between the geography table. So I will select this one column. If you want to select multiple columns, use control and select city column. I want to remove both the columns. So I will right click on this. I will click on remove columns. Can you see both the columns has been completely removed? That's great. Now I have a geo key information. Everything is set properly. Let me reconfirm it. One is categories table, where we have category key. I am making the categories information having a relationship with subcategory table. So category table is completely cleaned. I will go for geography table. So geography table also completely cleaned, where I have country and city information. Do I require this attribute and value? No. So what I can do, I will select this both the column, right click, remove column, because I have already extracted the country and city. So I have done lot of data manipulation operation. So why we use Power Query editor? Power Query editor is nothing but it is an ETL tool. What is ETL? ETL is nothing but extract, transform and load. So extract is nothing but we are extracting from different sources. As I told you before, we extracted the data from Excel, CSV and folder, and along with that we extracted the data from SQL server. We extracted the data from different source. Transformation. What is transformation? Can you see at the beginning the data was present in this format, right? It is completely uncleaned. The information was not very cleaned, but at the last, can you see these are the transformation we have done. These many transformation we have done, and then we finally came up with geography key, country and city. And load. What is load in ETL? We are loading all the changes that has been done in the Power Query editor to the Power BI desktop. So geography table is completely cleaned. Now we'll go for sales representative table. So sales representative is also completely cleaned information. For me, I'll go for subcategory. Even the subcategory is cleaned, but if you see the category information, it is presented as ABC rather than data type as 1, 2, 3. Always you want to make sure the data type is in proper format. In the categories table, it is 1, 2, 3. That is nothing but in numeric data type. But in the subcategory, the category key is present in the ABC, that is string format. I want to change that string format to numeric format. Select this data type. Here you can see it is in text format. I am changing the text format to whole number. So now it is in the whole number. How do I see the difference? If you want to see the difference, whenever if it is in number format, the information will be written in the right side. Can you see the information is written in the right side? If it is in the text format, the information will be written in the left hand side. Understood? Information is present in the left hand side. So these are we can do it. So now again I will be changing this into whole number. So it is in the right side. That's great. So I will go for product table. So product table, again I will make a relationship with product table with sales table. Right? This is your sales table. So which has all the information from the year of 2014 sales to 2017 sales along with that geography key. So this is all the data manipulation operation that you are doing before performing the any visualization. That's great. So now, do I really require this final sales and 2017 sales for making an analysis? No, because I already created the sales table. So I will right click on this. I will click on enable load. I will click on continue. So can you see here? I have disabled this. So I have unchecked the enable. That is nothing but I have disabled the particular table. So once it is disabled, while loading to the Power BI desktop, it will not load it. Same way, I want to do the same thing for sales of 2017. I want to right click, disable this or uncheck this enable endnote. So you can see the difference. It is in the italic format and it is grayed out. That means these two columns is not loading to the Power BI desktop. So now all the changes are completely done. I want to just click on close and apply. So whatever changes that you have been done in the Power Query editor, that will be applied to the Power BI desktop. Can you see here all the changes that has been done? You can go to the table view to view your table. In the right section, you can just view the columns that are present. Can you see these are the columns that are present? But if you want to see the exact table, you can go to the table view. So you can view your table. You can see this is the product table that is completely cleaned, and this is your category table. This is also cleaned, right? All the table is completely clean. As I told you, sales, final sales and 2017 sales is not loaded because you have disabled it. So next operation is you want to perform the modeling. The data is sitting from different table. Now if you want to make a relationship, you want to perform the data modeling. Data modeling is nothing but making a relationship between different tables. I will go to this model view. In this model view, Power BI is smart enough to automatically make the relationship. Can you see here? We have categories table, geography table, sales representative table, category, subcategory table, product and sales table, right? These are the tables that are available. So now I want to make a relationship between each table. So Power BI is already created a relationship for few tables. So if I want to remove it, how I can remove? I can just right click on this. I can click on delete the connections or delete the relationship. Click on S. So automatically this deletes the relationship. So what Power BI has done, it is telling that there is a relationship between the product table along with that sales table. What is a common column? If you want to see common column that has been made the relationship, you can just hover on top of this. It is telling in the product table we have product ID and in the sales table we have product ID. So we have made the relationship. So what kind of cardinality it has performed? One to many relationship. You can see here that is nothing but we have product ID as a primary key and we have product ID in the sales table as foreign key. So one to many. So one product, multiple sales that has generated. So 1, star. So if you just click on this, in the properties, you can see what type of cardinality it has provided. Many to 1 or 1 to many. If it is going from upward, it is many to 1, from downwards, 1 to many. The same way in the geography table and as well as sales table, it has made the relationship called 1 to many. So what is the common column here? The common column here is geography. How do I see the geography key? I want to just hover on this. In the geography table, I have geography key and in the sales table also I have geography key. So again, what type of relationship it has formed? 1 to many or many to 1. That's good. You can see here, the first table is sales table and the second table is geography table. So in the sales table, we have geography key and in the geography table also we have geography key. So it has performed many to 1 relationship. So now I want to create this subcategory should have a relationship with category table. What is a common column from subcategory to category column? There is a common column called category key. So how do I make a relationship? I can drag this category key and drop it on top of subcategory key. Can you see there is a new relationship that is forming? That is nothing but in the categories table, it is extracting the category key column. In the subcategory table, it is extracting the category key column. It is making a relationship. What type of cardinality it is creating? It is again creating the 1 to many. 1 to many relationship. Click on save. Can you see here? It has created the 1 to many relationship. That's great. But do I have a relationship with sales representative? No. There is no such relationship that has provided for sales representative table. To do so, what you can do it, you can drag this sales representative ID and drop it on sales table sales representative ID. Drag and drop it. So you can see here in the sales representative table, I have a sales representative ID as a primary key, and in sales table, the sales representative ID as a foreign key. Now, I want to make a relationship between the subcategory and along with the product table. So what is the common column that is present in the both the table? We have a common column called subcategory key. I will drag this subcategory key and drop it on top of product table. Can you see there is a relationship? That is nothing but subcategory key is having a relationship with another table, that is product table subcategory key. So what kind of relationship? It is one-to-many relationship. That is nothing but subcategory key in subcategory table is a primary key, and in the product table it is a foreign key. I will click on save. So again this has formed the relationship. So always each and every table should have a relationship. Can you see here? Each and every table has a relationship. That's great, right? So now we have done with the Power Query, and then we are also done with the data modeling. Now let me go to the documentation. They are asking us to perform the data modeling. So that is your task 2.1. Do the respective transformations to the sales fact table in order to split the country and city. We already did this, right? We were having country and city sitting in one particular column called location. We separated it based on delimiter as semicolon. That's good. Next thing, they are asking us to create a unique key called geo key in the geography table. We also done that, whereas in the geography table, we were not having any column that made the relationship. So we created a new column called geo key, and we performed the merge operation in the sales table. So in the geo key is present in the sales table along with the geography table. The task number 2.3, they are asking the dimensional queries. For example, sales representative and subcategory need some additional treatment. Some ID column have following formats. For an example, ID space -6. I already did by using replace values. That's good. So they are asking us task number 2.4 to create a data model containing all the tables. Yes, we did the data model which contains all the tables. We made the relationship and perform the time intelligence function, create a data master. So we want to perform the time intelligence function here by creating a new column called date master. So you can find week wise sales, month wise sales, quarterly sales, etc. Okay, let me also explain you how to create a DAX function to create a time intelligence function. Now I will go back to the Power Query. I can go to the Power Query editor and I can modify it, or else by using Power BI also I can do it by writing the DAX function. I will go to this table view. In the table view, you can find in the Home tab there is a new table. Click on this new table. Now I am going to create a time intelligence function. To create this time intelligence function, the column name I will create as, let me zoom this for the better visibility. You want to use control and you want to increase your scroller, so it will zoom. So I am creating a new table name called date master. Date underscore master is equals to, I will explain different ways of creating the time intelligence function. The first way, what you can do, you can create a function called calendar. So we have a function called calendar. What this calendar do? Calendar takes two arguments. One is start date and the other one is end date. For an example, you joined your organization, so it will capture each and every day from the starting date till the ending date. That is what calendar does. Here they also provided the description. What is the function of calendar? So the description states that it returns a table with one column of all the dates between the start date and end date. That's great. So what is start date here? The start date is nothing but the first date of the sales that has been generated, right? So in the sales table, we have when is the date that the sales have generated. So I will go here and write it as first date. So what first date does? So first date, can you see here? The function of first date takes only one argument, that is dates, and the description states that it returns the first non-blank data or non-blank date. So which table I want to extract this? I want to extract this from the sales table. So I will go and write as sales table. In the sales table, you can use square bracket to extract the column. What column I want to extract here is, I want to extract date column. So you can use tab rather than writing it. So you can see here it is automatically selected. You can close this bracket. So I am satisfied with the first date. I can use comma. Calendar function also takes the end date. End date is nothing but the last date of the sales that was generated. So I will write another function called last date. So last date also accept another parameters called dates. I will write down in the sales table we have date column. So that is nothing but your first date and the last date information. You will close this calendar function. You will click on enter. Can you see here the magic happened? We have created a new column called date column. So this comprises of all the information from the starting date of the sales that was generated to the ending date of the sales that was generated. That's great. So rather than seeing all the information, this is in the format of date and timestamp. If you want to make it into short date, you can select this particular column. There is an option called format. You can go to this format. You can change it to short date. You can see the data type is also provided here. That is nothing but your date and time function. I will go to the format and select the short date. How simple it is. Just one click, the data has been transformed to short date. So the first date of sales that was generated in January 2nd, 2014, right? That's great. Now I have created a date column. From this date column, I will start extracting the year, quarters, month, month name, week, weekday, week name, etc. All the time intelligence function, because you don't know what happens in the future. Your client may come to you and they may ask you what is the weekly wise sales, or else stakeholders comes to you and they may ask you what is the monthly wise sales, what is the yearly wise sales, quarterly wise sales. So you cannot do it after creating a dashboard. So all the functionalities of time intelligence you want to create it before. You can just plug in and plug out. Now I will create a new column. So the new column name as year. So I will rename the column name as year. Now I want to extract the year from the date table. So I'll write a function called year. So it takes the one argument called date. So the description is provided here. It returns the year of a date as 4-digit integer. Alright, that's good. From which table I am extracting the date information? From the date master table. So I will provide date master of date. That is nothing but from the date master table I am extracting the date column. I will close this bracket and click on enter. Can you see here? It is extracted the year from the date column. Can we see how many years we have extracted? We have extracted from 2014 to 2017. Let me confirm it. If you want to confirm, you can click on this drop down that will print the unique information. Can you see here? We have 2014, 15, 16 and 17. So at the beginning, 2014 and 2015 sales was present in one folder and 2016 and 2017 was present in the other folder. Now we have made the combination of multiple folders. That's good. That is the power of Power BI, right? Where you can also perform the union or combination of columns. Let me click on OK. I'll create a new column now. Let me rename the column name as quarter. Let me give the variable name or the header name as quarter. In short form, I will write as QTR is equals to, I'll write a function called quarter. Same way, the quarter extracts the quarterly information from the date table. You want to present the table along with the column that you have specified. So, which table you are going to redirect? You are redirecting the date master table. So, provide the date master table. From this table, what you are extracting? I am extracting the date column. Write on date. So, whenever you are extracting the table, it will provide the table name along with the, in the square bracket, it will extract the column name. If you click on enter, can you see here? It has extracted the quarters from the date table. So, if you see in the drop down, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 quarters has been extracted successfully. I will go create a new column. Now, I will rename the column name as month equals. So, to extract the month, you can just specify month as the function. So, month extracts the details from 1 to 12. We have totally 12 months, right, for an year. So, I will provide the table name, that is date master, and also I will provide the column name as date column. I will close it. I will click on enter. Can you see here? The month has been clearly extracted. So, totally we have 12 months. If you click on drop down, you can see all 12 months details. Click on OK. Now, whenever you are representing this dashboard to the stakeholders, it is not a good practice to show in numbers, right? January as 1, February as 2. Instead of that, it's always a good practice to show in the format of text, Jan sales or February sales. To do so, I want to format my month. How do I format it? I will create a new column called month name equals. I want to use format because I want to format from month to month name, right? So, I will use a function called format. It is asking me two arguments. One is your value and the which format I want to display. You can see the below description for the format function. It converts a value to text in the specified number format. I will go and provide the value. What is the value that I will provide here is in the date master table, date column I will extract. Date master of date. I can just go down. I can use tab to select the information. I will use comma. They are asking which format to be displayed. You can use double quotes while always providing the format. I can just specify 3 times yum. That means I want to see the month information in shorthand notation. If I want to see in full length, I can specify yum 4 times. I will click on enter. Can you see? We have January, February, March, April has been extracted. If we use 3 times, that will provide me in shorthand notation. I also want to see month along with the year. So, what I can do? I can also specify the year information here. So, I can see here Jan 14, Jan 15. So, it is providing me in format of month versus year. If you want to give any delimiter, you can use hyphen delimiter. You can see month information delimiter with year. You can play with these formats. But for now, I will keep this in the shorthand notation. That's great. So, month is extracted, month name is extracted. Now, I want to extract the week. I will create a new column. Again, I want to write the another DAX function called week name or week num. Week num, I will create the week number, which week the sales was generated. So, there is a function called week num. It again takes the 2 arguments, one is date and return type. Let me provide only one argument, that is date. So, where is the date information that is present in the date master table? So, let me provide date master of date column. I will close the bracket, click on enter. So you can see in an year we have almost 52 or 53 weeks, right? If you use the leap year as well. So you can see all 52 and 53 weeks are extracted from the date column. Now I will create a new column called weekday. I want to see which day the sales was generated. Either it is a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Your stakeholder is very keen to understand for which day the sales was very high, right? To perform this, I will create a new column called weekday is equals to, I will provide a function name called weekday. So Power BI is very smart enough. It will also recommend you what is the function that you want to write. You can see here, I am not writing all the information. I will just write W. It is providing me list of functions which starts with W, right? So you can use tab function to select any of the particular function. So again, this takes one argument, that is date column. So you can provide as date master of date. You can close this and click on enter. So you can see here it has extracted all the weeks information, starts from 1 to 7. That is nothing but 1 states Sunday, 2 is Monday, 3 is Tuesday, etc. But again, this is not the right way or the right practice to display to the stakeholders. So what I can do, I will create a new column called weekday name. Weekday name. Weekday name equals, that is nothing but I will provide format because I want to change the format from number to text. So format converts the value to text information. So let me provide the value, that is nothing but date master of date, and I also want to display the formatting here. So the formatting I will provide as DDD. So let me close it and click on enter. As I told you before, 1 represents the Sunday, 2 represents Monday, and 3 represents Tuesday. That's great. So we are done with all the information. You can see how easy you can write a DAX functionalities. So it has been extracted all the date information. Is it the same way to create, or is there any other way to perform this operation? Yes, there is multiple ways to perform this operation. This is one of the way you can do it. To do it in the other way, what I can do, I will create a new table here. I will go to the home tab. I will create a new table. So in this new table, I will just make it as date master of 1, right? So I am explaining you in the alternative way of performing this date master or time intelligence function information. So I want to provide multiple columns. To do that, I can also add a functionality called add columns. So what does this add columns does? It will take an argument. The first argument is table, from which table you want to extract the information. The second thing is name and the expression. So you can see the description of it. It returns the table with new column specified by the DAX expression. DAX or nothing but data analytic expression. So now let me provide the table, that is nothing but you can provide the sales table, comma, the name. So let me provide the name as date and the expression as year of date information. Let me close this and let me click on enter. So add columns cannot add the new column called date since it is already exists. So it is already exists, so it is unable to do it. So it is creating a new column, that is nothing but date 1, and it is extracting the year information. Now you can see here in the date master of 1, the new column is created, that is year. So rather than updating the original column, what I can do, I can create a new column for me or new table for me. So to do that, what I can do, first let me remove this particular column. Let me go here and let me delete it. If the delete option is not present, no worries, go here and delete it, right? So there will be an option called delete. If it is not present, just go here, click on three dots and click on delete from model. Click on S. So you can see date master 1 is completely removed. So this is your manual operation you did. So now I'll create a new function as date column to perform the same task. I'll create a new table. So let me make it as copy date master copy or alternative way. To do it in the alternative way, you can add a date column. So that will add multiple columns. You can see the description here. It returns a table with new columns specified by dash expression. So the first argument is table. So what is your table? Your table is nothing but you're extracting the first date and last date from the sales table. So provide a calendar function. This is your calendar function, the same thing we did previously. And you want to provide the start date and end date. To provide the start date, write down first date of what? First date of sales that was generated in the sales table, that is date information, comma, end date is nothing but the last date that the sales was generated in the sales table. So provide the last date of sales table and date column. So you have provided the first date and last date. That is good. Now we also want to provide the name. So what is the information that you are extracting here? I want to extract the information called year. So write down year, that is your name. And what is the expression? Expression is nothing. What is the function that you are extracting here? The function is nothing but your year of date column. For now, let me click on enter. So if you click on enter, you will get two columns. One is date column and the other one is your year column that you have extracted. Can you see here your date column and year column? If you want to do the same thing for multiple columns, let me arrange it in proper way. So I can use shift enter. So let me use tab to make this everything into the same place, right? So this is the year information that you have extracted. Now I will go here and I will provide comma. I will want to provide the new information, that is nothing but I'll provide the quarter. So this is the name. I want to provide the expression. The expression is nothing but quarter of date information, right? So now I've extracted the quarter, comma. If you want to extract month, I want to provide the same thing as month as the name, and now the expression is nothing but you are writing a function called month of date column, right? So you are dealing with the same table, so need not writing the table name again and again. You can directly write the column name by using the square bracket. You are closing this, comma, again use shift enter to move to the next cell. You can provide the month name. As I told you, to perform the month name, you want to use function called format that will convert the number to string or the text format. So you want to provide the function called format. Again, format take the two arguments, one is values and the other one is format, which format to be displayed. So values is nothing but your date, comma, which format to be displayed. I want to display in month format. So I will provide as yum 3 times, comma, I want to provide the name information. So the name is your week. day or week num. So let me perform the weekday first. Weekday, comma, you're providing the weekday of date column and you're closing it, comma, you're providing the another column name called week num, comma, that is nothing but you're providing the function name called week num of date table, comma, the last expression is nothing but your week name. You're using week name, comma. Now you want to write the function called format because again I want to convert the text or the number to text format, right? So I will use format. The value it is asking, that is nothing but the date information, comma, which format to be displayed. I want to display it in the DDD format, right? Just close it and click on enter. Can you see here? I have added multiple columns at once by using the add columns. Add columns will add multiple columns at once. So you can use either this way or this way. The more proficient way of writing the DAX function is using add columns. So you can prefer anything as you wish. So let me keep any one information and drop other information because those are duplicated. So let me drop the copy of the information, right? Let me go here and let me delete from model. Just for your understanding, I've created two ways of performing the same operation. I've deleted it. So now I don't have the date master of copy. That's good. Now I've performed the time intelligence function as I was discussing here. They're asking us to create a new column that is nothing but a total revenue in the sales table. I want to create a total revenue in the sales table that is nothing but the product retail price multiplied by total units. So let me go to the sales table. So I will add a new column called total revenue. Total revenue is nothing but product retail price multiplied by units. So the units is present in the sales table. Can you see the units is present in the sales table? But where is the product retail price? The product retail price is not present in the sales table. It is present in the products table. So whenever you want to extract any information from the other table, you cannot have an access here. If you write retail price, can you see there is no populated information that is displaying here because retail price is present in the different table. But if you want the units, you can just write as units. Can you see here in the first information itself, it's telling that sales of units. In the sales table, we have unit information. To do so, what you can do, you can use related as a function. So sales units multiplied by product table. Before using product table, I want to use a function called related. What related does? We can see the description of related. It returns a related values from the another table. Related of product table. In the product table, I am extracting the retail price. Let me close it and click on enter. Can you see here? The total revenue is extracted. So what if the relationship is not formed? You can see here product table and sales table as a relationship. If you remove this relationship, related does not work. Can you see here? The related does not work. It will throw an error because there is no relationship between the product table and sales table. So always you want to make sure that first you have made the relationship, then only you can use the function called related. So now let me make the relationship between the product table and sales table. The common column is product ID. I will drag this product ID and drop it on top of that. So now you can see there is no error that is present. Till here everything is good. Now we'll try to create a new column called total cost. What is total cost? That is nothing but in the product table we have standard cost multiplied by total units. So these are the DAX functionalities that you want to remember, right? So in some of the companies will provide you the detailed information what needs to be done, and in some of the companies they don't provide it. They just provide the business requirement. They don't provide the functional requirements. So the functional requirements are nothing but it also provides the functions or the calculations that needs to be performed. So if you want to create a total cost, let me create a new column called total cost. Total cost is equals to in the product table we have standard cost. So again, if you want to refer to the different table, you want to use function called related of product standard cost multiplied by units. Units is present in the sales table. Click on enter. So you can see here you got the information called total cost. That's good. Now if you want to create another column of gross profit, that is nothing but the total revenue that was generated multiplied by what is the cost that we have spent. Create a new column called gross profit. Gross profit is nothing but what is the total revenue that we have generated. Should I want to use related function here? No. Why I am not using related here? Because we are extracting the total revenue in the sales table itself. Whenever you are having a relationship with other table, or if you want to extract the information from different table, at that particular case you want to use related function. Now I am not extracting any information from the other table, I am accessing from the same table. So no need of performing related. I can just write it as total revenue subtracting by total cost that we have spent. That is nothing but total cost. If you click on enter, can you see here we got the gross profit that were generated. That's cool, where we are able to create a 3 columns, that is total revenue, total cost and gross profit. Now let me go to the report view. So report view is nothing but it's used to make the relationship, or report view is majorly used to create the charts or graphs which have already made the relationship in the data modeling. So now I will go to the report view. So here is all the information that is present in the data table, and here is the visual pane. So Power BI supports more than 255 plus visuals, right? So now I want to see what is the total revenue that were generated. If you want to see what is the total revenue that was generated, you can use a card. So using this card, you can select the revenue information, total revenue. So can you see the total revenue that was generated is 54.53 thousand. And if you want to see the total cost, you can just copy this and paste it, and you can uncheck this and you can select the total cost. So total cost is 39.13 million, and let me go to this total revenue. Let me reconfirm what is the formula that has been written for total revenue. That is nothing but unit multiplied by retail price. And let me provide the profit, gross profit. I will remove this and add the gross profit. So this is the profit that was generated. So now by default the total revenue you can see here, it is not selected the sum, it has selected the count. So I want to change the aggregated function here. To change the aggregate function here, you can click on this drop down. There is an option called sum. You can click on this sum. So these are you can change the aggregate function. So the total revenue that was generated is 126.01 million for all the different years, and the total cost that we have spent over all the years is 39.13 million, and the profit that the company has made is 86.89 million. That's really good, right? So is the same way that we can do it, or else is there any other alternative way I can achieve this particular task? Yes, there is an alternative way. Always you remember, whenever you're working as a professional, you don't create any such type of additional columns within the presented table. We also try to create a new folder to keep all the calculated fields in one particular folder. So we try to perform in more professional way by creating a new calculated table. In that calculated table, we create a new folder. In that folder, we try to add all these calculated measures. To do that, what I can do, I will go to this table view. I will create a new table. So go to this table tools. There is an option called new table, right? Click on new table. Now I will create a new table called calculations, because in this table all the calculations I will be present. So I will be renaming this table name as calculations is equals to, for temporary I will give it as value as 1. So you can see here there is a calculated table that has been created. How do you understand this has been loaded from different source, or it is a calculated table? If you properly zoom and if you see this, you can see there is a box called table. Along with that, there is a calculator kind of symbol. That is, this is a calculated table. Go back to the report view. So rather than creating in this way, the other alternative way is going to the calculations, right click, let me create a measure. You understood how to create a table, you understood how to create a column. Now we'll try to create a measure. So what exactly table, column and measure means? Table is nothing but it consists of multiple columns. Columns is nothing but an individual information, individual columns which has multiple rows. But measures is nothing but the aggregated function on top of column. So I will create a new measure. So let me rename this measure as total revenue. Total revenue. So consider the total revenue is not yet created. So already the revenue column is created. So I can just use sum of revenue. So sum of total revenue. If you just perform this, you will get the total revenue as the column, right? I will use the card function. I will add this. So this total revenue and this total revenue is one and the same. But consider there is no such column called revenue. So at that particular case, I will remove this information. At that particular case, I will use SumX. What SumX does in the sense, rather than summing up all the information, it performs some operation in the row wise and then it will perform the sum of the particular column. Let me go and read out the description. It returns the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in the table. So what it does, it will first argument it takes as a table and then it takes as an expression. So which table I am dealing with? I am dealing with sales table. I will provide the sales table, comma. What is the expression I want to perform here? I want to perform the revenue. To find the total revenue, that is nothing but the in the product table we have I will use related function because that is sitting in the different table, that is not in the sales table. So related of product retail price multiplied by in the sales table units. Right, I will select this, I will close this and I will click on enter. So I hope everyone understood what is SumX is doing. SumX is nothing but where it is also trying to perform same as your total revenue. So what this does, this first calculates the product retail price multiplied by total units. First it performs row wise multiplication and then it will aggregate all the information. So I will create a new card called total revenue. Can you see here? So I've created this total revenue without using the revenue column. So do I really require this revenue column? No, I don't require anymore the revenue column. So what I can do, you can drop those columns. So the columns that you have created is total revenue, total cost, and as well as gross profit. I will right click it. If there is an option called delete from model, I will delete this calculations. Can you see here? It is deleted. Gross profit also I will delete it because I don't require anymore. And also I will delete the total cost. So this 3 information is blank because I've deleted all the columns. I don't require any more this cards. I will remove it. So by using the measures, you understood how to create a total revenue. Now I will help you how to create a total cost. To create a total cost, I will go to this calculation again. I will re-explain it entire process once again. Go to the calculation, right click, and there is an option called measures. Measures are nothing but a calculated information or the aggregated information for the particular column. I will go to the measures. I will rename this column name as measure to total cost. So to perform the total cost, what you can do, you can perform SumX and you're multiplying related and the related. No, first you want to provide the table. The table is nothing but your sales table, and then you are providing the expression that is nothing but your standard cost. To find the standard cost, that is presenting the product table. So to extract any information from the different tables, you want to use a function called related, as I discussed. So related of in the product table, I will extract the standard cost. So product standard cost multiplied by units. So unit is present in the sales table. So no need of writing related because you are mapping with the same table. So it has already have an access. So I will copy and paste it. I will remove this particular card. I will add this total cost. So this is the total cost that was generated. Now if you want to provide the gross profit, that is nothing but total revenue minus total cost. So I will again create a new measure. I will right click on the calculation. I will click on new measure. So gross profit. Gross profit. To provide the gross profit, that is nothing but total revenue minus total cost. I will click on enter. So I will copy paste it. You can copy paste it or else you can create a new card that is one and the same. So previously that is total cost. I will remove this and I will add the gross profit. So you can see here total revenue, total cost and gross profit is created without using the calculated column of revenue, cost and profit. That's great. So now I will explain you how to format your canvas. So whatever information that is present here is called canvas. So if you want to increase or reduce the size of the canvas, what you can do, you can go to this format your report. So this is my entire report pane. I'll click on this format your report. There's an option called canvas settings. In the canvas settings, by default it is 16:9 ratio. I will change the 16:9 ratio to custom and I can give the custom height and width for my particular report. So the height I will provide for now as 1400 and the width I will also provide as 1400. It is not mandated that you want to provide it as 1400. If you want, you can increase or decrease based on your visual. I will go to this view tab because the view is not properly fitted to the width, right? It is more cumbersome. So what I can do, if I want to see this in proper width, I will go for view tab. There's an option called page view. I'll click on page view. There's an option called fit to width. So you are fitting your visual to the proper width. Yes. So you can see now you can scroll it. So the report as properly fitted to the width. That's great. That's cool. Now, I also like to change the background color. So the background is in white color. If I want to change this color, what I can do, I can go to this view. They have themes. If you want, you can select any theme that you want, right? These are the different themes that Power BI supports. For now, I don't want any theme. If you want the background, you can go to the canvas settings. There's an option called canvas background. You can change the background here as well. Blue color. Why it is not changing in the sense you have transparency as 100%. If you want, you can switch down this transparency level. Now you can see the background got changed. Okay, that's good. So for now, I am not creating any color for the background. Let me go and first create the title. Always keep one thing in mind. Whenever you create the report, it's better to do the rough sketch after providing the rough sketch and then you implement it, right? But for now, I'm not creating any rough sketch. I'm doing it on live. So let me create a title or the text table. To create a text table or the text box or the title of this particular dashboard, in the Home tab, you can find the text box. You can click on this text box. So try to adjust it to the proper corner and drag it completely to the right. So you want to provide the text information or the title information. So for here, the title I will provide as Ice Cream Sales Analysis by Marticus. So I will write down Ice Cream Sales Analysis by Marticus. So the font size is very small. I want to increase the font size. So I will select this particular information. I will go to this font size. I will change this to 40. So I can see the font size has increased. If you want to keep it in the bold format, you can select this bold format. If you want to keep it into the central alignment, you can click on center. If you want it in italic, you can keep it in italic format. Can you see here? The title is created. Ice Cream Sales Analysis by Marticus. Now the question is, how can I change the background of this particular title? Yes, you can change the background of the particular title. How you can do it? You want to select this particular text box. There's an option called General. In the General, you have an effect. You want to click on this effect. There is a background. Select this and you can change the background. So you can see this is the background color that I have been given. If you want to, you can increase or decrease the transparency level, right? So if you want to add the logo, you can add it here. So for now, I want to add the logo of Marticus. So how do I do that? I will go to the Insert tab. In the Insert tab, there is an option called Image. I'm going to extract the image from my local file system. I will click on this image. There is an option called Logo Selection. Let me click on this. I'll click on Open. Can you see here how simple way that we can add the logo? I'll just add this logo on the left side. So how easy we can add the logo. You can increase or decrease the size of the particular logo, right? You can create the text information. That's great. Now I'm going to change the format of my page. So what I can do is where I'll go to this format your page report and then I'll go for the canvas settings. In the canvas settings, I can customize and I can increase the size of my customs height with 2000 because I'm trying to print lot many charts below. And if you want to change the background, you can go to this canvas background and you can change this to lighter green color, and then reduce the transparency level. So for example, let me give this and let me reduce the transparency or increase the transparency level, right? So we have already discussed how to create these parameters and measures. Now, rather than creating manually, what I can do, I can also create the information that is present in this particular requirement documents from the team, where we have total revenue that is already created, total cost we have created, and gross profit is also created as a measure. Now we are going to try to create a total quantity. So to print the total quantity, we can say that how many number of units that has been sold, that is nothing but the total quantity, right? So I will go to the same calculation folder, I will right click and I will create a new measure. Now I will rename this as total quantity. So total quantity is equals to sum of units. So unit is present in the sales table. So if you write just unit, that's more than enough. And you can close the bracket and click on enter. So I will create a new card. I can just copy paste it. I will remove the values that is present here. I will click on total quantity. So what is the total quantity that has been sold over here? So from past 4 years, the total quantity that has been sold is 4 million. That's good. So I also want to see what is the total number of transactions that has been made. So whenever each transaction happens, it is present in the sales table. So where do I see the sales table? My sales table is here. If you go to the table view, you can find the sales table. So these are the total transaction that has performed. So let me go to this report page. To print each row or to print the number of rows that are present, you can create a new measures, go to the calculation, click on new measures. In this new measures, you can write it down as number of transactions. Number of transactions is equals to count rows. So there is an option called count rows. So what this function takes? This function takes a table. So if you want to see the description of this count rows, you can easily say that counts the number of rows that is present in the table. So I am going to count the number of rows that is present in the sales table. Let me write down the table name called sales. Let me close this bracket and click on enter. So I will copy paste this card and I will remove this total quantity and add the number of transactions. So I can see the total number of transactions is 55,000. Okay. So the last information is percentage of profit margin. I also want to see what is the percentage of profit margin. So what I will do, I will create a new calculation measures called percentage of profit margin. That is nothing but what is the total profit that was generated divided by total revenue. So total profit, that is nothing but gross profit divided by total revenue. Let me click on enter. So I will go and print the percentage of profit margin. So it is telling 0.69. It is not converted into percentage yet. If you want to convert this into percentage, select this particular measure and you can see here the new tab has been created called measure tools. In this measure tools, you can go here, there is a percentage icon, you click on this percentage icon. So this number has been converted into percentage. That means the percentage of margin that has been sold. Almost 68.95% of margin that has been sold. That's good. Now, rather than creating this multiple chart or multiple cards, it's better way to create a new card and including all the different cards in particular new card. For an example, let me showcase to you. First, let me create a slicer. So to create a slicer, what I can do, I can add a slicer here. So what exactly is slicer? You want to understand that before adding a slicer to the particular visuals. So slicers act as a filter to the particular dashboard, right? So here is the slicer. Let me select the slicer. So let me create a slicer for the country. So whenever a user or whenever a stakeholders wants to understand based on the country wise analysis, you can just slice it down with required countries. You can filter out based on the required countries. So I will go here and select the country. It is very tedious task to me to search where is the country present. So I can go to the search bar. You can see on the top there is a search bar. I can just type it as country. It will display in which of the tables the country is available. So I will go and select the geography table. So I can see in the geography table we have three different countries. One is Germany and India and United States. Now, is it a better way of visualizing the data? No. Rather than tile, it's better to use drop down list. So how do I create a drop down? I will select this particular slicer. I will go to this format your visual. In this format your visuals, you can find slicer settings. Let me click on this slicer settings. It is present in the vertical list. You can see it is present in the vertical list. I will change this vertical list to drop down. So can you see here how beautiful it looks? So you can just drop down and you can select whichever country that you want to select for. For example, I want to see what is the total revenue that was generated in Germany. What I can do, I can just filter out based on the Germany. Can you see the total revenue generated in Germany? So this is a dynamic filter. If you perform the filter, all the other chart will act accordingly. Now you can see the edge of this particular card or edge of the particular slicer is very sharp, but I want the rounded edge to make my visual more appealing. I will select this particular slicer. I will go to the format your visuals. In format your visuals, you can find there is a general. Let me select general. Over here there is an effect. Over the effect, there is an option called visual border. Just turn on your visual border and there is an option called rounded corner. So the corner should be rounded or what they are asking. So FS like how much percent. So I can see here this looks more better compared to the previous, right? So let me create a new slicer for year. So rather than creating a new slicer, I can just copy and paste it. So remove this field and add a new field called year. So just go to the search icon and then search it for year, right? So here is the year information. So how many years of sales that we are going to play with? We are going to analyze based on the 2014, 15, 16 and 17, 4 years of data. So you can see here, whenever I change the year, it is not getting updated. Why so? Why in the sense, your data modeling has not yet created it, where you have not yet made the relationship. So here is the date master table. So this date master table should have a relationship any of these tables. So which table has the relationship with date master? You can see in the sales table we have date column and as well as in the date master we have date column. So I will drag this date information and drop it on the sales table. So again it has been formed one to many relationship. Let me click on OK. That's good. Now we have created a slicer and then we have created the relationship between the year and sales. So now we can see here if I want to see only 2014 sales, I can apply the filter that applicable for all the different charts. That's great. Along with that, I want to see the month information. To view the month information, let me copy paste the same particular slicer. I will drag it to the right. Rather than country, I will print the month name. Alright, so month name. So it is again present in the drop down list. Rather than drop down, I want to print it in the tile format. Let me select this particular slicer. Go to the format your visuals. In the format visuals, go to the slicer settings. In the slicer settings, you can find the tile. So I can see the data is present in the tile format. But the values are too big, but the headers are very small. How do I overcome this? You can go to the general. In general, there is an properties. Over the properties, you can find advanced option. Select this advanced option. Switch off this responsive. Now you can see the title is same as different slices. Now, is the data is sorted accordingly to the month? No, the data is not sorted according to month, but the data is sorted according to alphabetical order. So if I want to sort this data according to month wise, you can select this particular slicer. We have already created the month as a function where it used to print from 1 to 12. I want to sort based on that month. What I can do, I can select this month name, and there is an option called sort by columns. I will redirect to month. So you can see here, now the data has been properly sorted with monthly wise. That's good. Now, as I told you before, rather than creating multiple cards, I can go for new cards. I will go and create a new card. In this new card, I can add all the different elements that we have created. The first thing is total revenue. So let me find for total revenue. So I can see total revenue that was generated in the year of 2017 is 38.97 million, and total cost is generated was 12.10 million, and then gross profit was generated 26.87 million, and total quantity that has been sold, there is nothing but number of quantity that has been sold is somewhere 18,000, and number of transaction was 18,000, and total quantity that was sold by 1 million. Percentage of profit margin is 68.95%. So if I want to view all this particular card in only one layout, so what I can do, if you want to view this instead of horizontally scrolling, I want to view all the different card in one place. I can select this, go to this format your visuals. There is an option called layout. Click on that layout, and it's a single row. That's good. It is in the card style. Yes. So, but maximum card to be displayed is 3. So I will increase this maximum number of cards that should be displayed. So I can see here the maximum number of card as displayed is 6. So I can view all the different cards information. That's totally perfect now. So let me remove this previously created cards information, right? So now my next question is, if I select any of the month, can you see here the title is the same, the title is not getting affected. The title is same, printed as total revenue, total cost, total profit, total quantity, number of transactions, etc. But what I need is, whenever I select June month, it should be presented as revenue in June. But if you unselect any of the months, it should print as total revenue. Come on, let's do it. So to do that, we'll go for format your visuals. In the format your visuals, before going to format your visuals, it's better to create a measures. So all the measures that is already created, I will create it in the folder. So to put all the measures that was created into the folder, what I can do, I can click on this model view. In the model view, I will select the first particular measures, shift last measures that has been created. So that will select all the measures in between. I will go to this display folder, and in this display folder, I will create a folder name called measure O1. I will click on enter. Can you see here? It has been created in the form of folder. That's good. Now, I want to create a new measure called title. So right click on new measure. So I want to create a measure for title. Title for what? Title for revenue. Title for revenue. So how do I print the title for revenue? If selected value, what is selected value? Selected value returns the value when there are only one value in the specified column, otherwise returns the alternative results. If selected value of date master of month name is not equals to, that is nothing but not equals to, less than or greater than is nothing but not equal to in Power BI. If it is not equals to blank, if it is not blank, what I want to print? I want to print the selected value of date master of month name, right? Else do nothing. Else you want to print as total revenue. That's it. That's what I'm telling you here. So we'll try to check out whether it is working fine or not. What I can do, I will click on this total revenue. I will go to this format your visuals. There is an option called callout values. Let me click on this callout values. There is a label. In the label, I can change this, right? So rather than all the column, I want to just specify with the total revenue column. So select total revenue, and then in the label, I will go for function fx, that is nothing but conditional formatting. Instead of field values, they can have multiple different information, but for now, this is my field value. I will select this, I will select the title revenue, I will click on OK. So can you see here, whenever I click on this June, it is printing June information, May information, April. That's working great, but rather than just June, I also want to see revenue in June. So what I can do, I want to modify it slightly. So I will make it as double quotes, revenue in space, and I will write the ampersand. Ampersand is nothing but like concatenation. I will click on this. Now you can see revenue in the month of April is 10.4 million and revenue in the month of May is 10.41 million. So how dynamically it is getting changed. That's good, right? So can we create the same for all the different cards? Yes, we can create the same for all the different cards. So what I can do, I will go for total cost, right click, create a new measure called title for cost. Title of cost is equals to if selected value of date master of name is not blank. If it is not blank, then I want to print it as cost in ampersand. I want to print the selected value of date master of month name. Let me click on enter. So again, I can go here, instead of changing this into title, what you can do, you can just see the reference. Let me copy paste this. I will remove this particular filter that has applied to title cost. So can you see here, it is printing it as cost in September, cost in October, and if you don't select anything, it is printing it as blank. Why it is printing it as blank rather than blank? Can I change this? Yeah, you can do it. Go here, format your visuals, layout values. I will change this to total cost. In the total cost, I want to go for label. So in the label, I will select the cost, title of cost. That's good. I have selected the title for cost. Now nothing is present selected, so total cost. If you select for April, cost in April, cost in May, and cost in June. That's good. Now I want to do the same thing for gross profit. to do the same thing for gross profit, again I want to do the same thing. Instead of doing manual task, what I can do, I will select all the information, I will copy it, I will right click on this calculations, new measures. So rather than revenue, I want to change wherever there is revenue, I want to change this with quantity. Control Shift L, so that will select wherever the element is present. So now I am replacing both the element at once by using quantity. I will click on enter. We have created for quantity. Now we will create it for number of transactions. Right click, new measures. So rather than revenue, number of transaction. Click on enter. So number of transactions is also done. Now percentage of profit margin. So again right click on this, print it. So rather than revenue, Control Shift L, percentage of profit margin. So click on enter. So let me go and change the title for every other column that we have created. I will go to this format your visuals, layout values. In the layout values, there is an option called label. So I will again click on this FX. So I want to do this for gross profit. Select the gross profit. Select this gross profit, title for gross profit. So I have not created any title for gross profit. If that is the case, create a title for gross profit as well. So right click and create a new measure called title of gross profit. So to print the title of the gross profit, what I can do, I can write a function so revenue in or gross profit, profit and selected values. So I will select the label, I will go here, I will select the title profit, I will click on OK. So profit in the month of May, June, July is getting changed. I will go here and select the profit, gross profit, and then I want to change the label to gross profit, title profit. Okay, and I want to change the title for total quantity. So I will go for gross profit to total quantity. Here again you want to change the value, that is what? Total quantity. Total quantity, there is nothing but title of total quantity. Title quantity, right? So I've created the total quantity. So number of transactions needs to be created now. I will select this, I will go here and find the number of transactions. I will change this label from FX to number of transaction, title of number of transactions. I'll click on OK, and now we want to do the last step for percentage of profit margin. So I will change this percentage of profit margin. I'll go here, and next I want to write as title of percentage of profit margin. So click on OK. Now you can see here every title is getting changed dynamically. If I select the August month, revenue in the month of August, cost in the month of August, profit, quantity, number of transaction and profit margin in the month of August. Even the same for September, October. If I don't select anything, it will be like just total revenue. Understood? This is how you can create the charts and graphs dynamically. Now what you can do, you can also provide this with current revenue with previous revenue. So you can compare the current month revenue with the previous month revenue. What is the total revenue that was generated? So what I will do here, I will go to this measure. Before creating a new measure, it's best practice to create all the older measure into one folder. I will go to this model view. I will select this title per percentage profit margin to title to revenue. I will right click on this. I'll create a folder, or else you can go to the display folder and create a folder called title. So title is created for me now. So once the title is created, I want to print the previous month profit or previous month revenue that was generated. So right click, I want to create a new measure called previous month. So for previous month revenue, so to create a previous month revenue, there is nothing but total revenue So I'll go for calculations, right click on this, new measures, previous revenue is equals to total revenue. So total revenue is not printing. Why it is not printing it in the sense? So you want to write down some of the conditional formatting, right? If rather than ref, I can also write it as calculated fields. That will be more better. So I'll write a calculate function. So what calculate function does in the sense, it evaluates an expression in the context modified filters. So it prints the expression based on the filter. So what is the expression here? That is nothing but total revenue, comma, what is the filter that I want to apply here? That is previous month filter. In the data, what you can do in the sense, it will ask you for the functions, that is dates and as well as number of intervals and what is the interval. So for the dates, I will be provided as date master of date column, comma, number of intervals is -1, that is nothing but previous month I want to perform. Let me close this and let me click on enter. So let me add the previous month information to this particular card. So it is able to print the previous month. So if you select the May, so revenue that is generated for April is this much. So revenue that is generated for the month of April is 10.44, for the month of March is 10.63. Can you see here? It is getting reflected. So we have created for the month of revenue for the previous month and the current month. That's good. If I want to add this into the particular field, what I can do, I can go to this format your visuals. In the format your visuals, there is an option called reference label. In the reference label, for the total revenue, I can add this previous revenue. So you can see here, this is your previous revenue. So your current revenue, that is the thing, but current month, the revenue that is generated is in the month of March is 10.63. So in the month of February, it is generated 9.40 million. So if you go to February, the current month of February is 9.40 million, previous month is 10.60 million. So this is how it is trying to print. So that's good. So now this is your previous month revenue. Now I will create a more dynamic way, that is nothing but your previous month information along with the revenue that is generated, right? So I will right click on new measure. So the measure name, let me make it as reference of previous month. So I will write as reference of previous revenue, previous underscore revenue equals to, so I will create a variable. So var variable. Now what I will do in the sense, I will create a dynamic previous month title first, and then I will print the value. So I will print it as previous month is equals to, always while writing a variable, it's a good practice to use underscore of previous month, so it will not throw any error. So previous month is the variable name that I have created. To find the previous month, what I can do, I can just print the calculate, because I want to perform some expression with a filter. So the expression is nothing but date master of I'll print the selected value of date master of month name, comma, the expression what I write here is previous month of what, date master of date, right, date master of date. Let me close this and let me return what, return previous month. Let me click on enter and let me cross verify whether it is working fine or not. So if it is not working fine, we'll try to make some changes. I'll go to this particular revenue. It is printing as blank because I have not selected any of the month. That's good. So if I select the June month, can you see here, it is printing the previous month details, that is May. If I select April, if I select May, it is printing the April, that is previous month details. So it is totally working fine. That's good. Now again, I will go to this particular reference previous month. So what I will do, I will add a new variable now. So the new variable name as underscore previous revenue is equals to, already I have created a previous revenue. I will print the same thing, previous revenue, right? So now let me write a condition, if selected value of date master of month name is not equals to blank. If it is not blank, what I want to do, I want to print the previous month revenue Along with that, I will use ampersand to add some more fields. I will use ampersand is nothing but just for concatenation. I will make some design over here and previous month revenue. I will add this previous month revenue. I will click on enter. So can you see here? It is printing for the month of April. What is the revenue that was generated? How awesomely it has printed, right? Previous month revenue. But the format is not proper. To make this proper formatting, what I can do, I will use format, and I am formatting this particular number. It is asking in which format you want to print it, right? What format does? It takes a two argument, one is value and the other one is format. It converts a value to text in the specified number or format. So this is your information, that is previous revenue. Along with that, I also want to give some formatting, that is in the double quotes I will write as dot or comma hash comma hash hash. That is nothing but it is printing in the format of rupees format. So this is the proper format that I required for. So this works perfectly fine. I will go here, I will go to this reference level, I will remove this and I will add the reference values, right. So now you can see there is a reference value that is printed. Do I really require the title? No, title is not required. So switch off this title. Now you can see here how easily it has printed the previous month revenue comparing with the current month revenue. Along with that, can we print the variance? How much percent it has varied? Is it a positive growth or negative growth? That will be the best practice. So whenever your stakeholder wants to understand what is the current month revenue that was generated, comparing with the previous month revenue, along with the delta part, how much variance between the current month and the previous month. So what I can do is, I will go to this calculated fields, I will create a new measure. So the new measure is nothing but I will create again a reference. So here the reference is variance. I will give the variance as the variable name. So now let me write down a new variable, if you want, var. Let me rename this column name as variance revenue. So it will be easier to me to track like what variance I am trying to find. So to find the variance, underscore variance equals, how do you find variance? I know the current month and then previous month sales. I want to find the variance, that is nothing but current month sales minus divide. I am using divide function because I want to divide it with revenue, that is nothing but total revenue minus previous revenue whole divided by previous revenue. Awesome. So now we got the what is the revenue that was generated. To see the results, what I can do, I want to write it down, return. I want to return the function and I want to provide the variable name. So here the variable name is underscore variance. So I am returning the variance. I will copy paste it. I will see what will be the output for this. Always it is a best practice whenever you start learning it, you want to start printing it and you want to cross verify whether it is working fine or not. If it is not working fine, you want to go back and you want to make some changes. That's it. So it is in percentage format. So what I can do, I can use format and I can provide the format as 0.00%. I will click on enter. Now you can see here, compared to the May month and April month, there is a negative revenue that is flowed out. That is nothing but how much percent? 0.27%, because compared to May month, previous month revenue was quite higher, right? So it is telling there is a negative loss that has happened compared to previous month. This month has not performed that great. but compared to May to June, it has improved with 3.93%. That's good. This is the variance that is printing. That's good. So, along with the variance, can I do some more better thing? Let me add the variable name as variance. Along with the variance, let me also print the arrow. If it is positive variance, I will want to showcase as up arrow, and if it is negative variance, I want to showcase as down arrow. So let me create a variable as arrow underscore arrow equals. So now what I can do, I will write a conditional statement if my variance is positive. That is nothing but if my variance is greater than what? If I want to print the positive, if it is greater than 0, then I want to make sure I want to print as positive sales. So to print the arrow mark, you can use Windows plus dot or full stop. Go to symbols. Here you have up arrow and down arrow. So double quotes, provide the up arrow. If it is greater than 0, if the variance is greater than 0, if it is less than 0, provide with down arrow. Alright. So simple and easy. And let me close this. So along with that, I also want to print the arrow. So what I can do, I will provide the return as variance colon ampersand. So that is nothing but your arrow ampersand this values. Let me click on enter. So can you see here how much percent positive and negative growth that has been generated? It's displaying in this format. That's quite excellent, right? So that's good. Can I apply this here? Yeah. I will go to this format your visuals. Here I will go to the reference label because below that I want to see the variance. I will go to the reference variable. In the reference labels, I will select this add data. Here I will select reference of variance. So positive or negative variance. Can you see here? So how the data is getting changed. That's amazing, right? But if you see here, if I don't select anything, I am also getting the variance details. So I should not print that. To do that, what I can do, I will go again to the same particular information. I will write a conditional statement if selected value of date master of month name, if date master of month name is equals to blank, or selected value of date master of month name is equals to January, then I want to print it as blank, else I want to print the variance. Understood? So you can write these type of logic. So now I have not selected any of the months, so it is printing it as blank. But if I select any other month like June, it will print the previous month and what is the variance that has been performed. That's great, right? Here your business person can easily make a beautiful insights over here. What is the current month revenue that was generated compared to the previous month, and along with that, what is the variance that has been for current and previous month. So it is a good practice to also color this information, because whenever you are generating the negative sales, it is better to showcase in the red color. So if it is positive sales, it is better to showcase in the green color. How do I do that? Let me create a new measure again. Create a new measure. So let me name this measure name called reference of color conditional formatting, or CF underscore revenue. It is better, CF underscore revenue is equals to I will write down divide if the current month revenue, that is nothing but total revenue minus previous month revenue whole divided by previous month revenue, right? So if this is the case, if this value is greater than 0, I will again write if condition here. If this value is greater than 0, then I want to specify in which color? I want to specify in the green color. Else I want to specify in format of red color, right? I'll click on enter. Now let me copy paste this and then remove this particular conditions. I'll use this conditional formatting. Can you see here there's a color is printing like green and red color. So how do I apply to this particular variance? It is very simple. Go here, go to this format your visuals, go to this reference level. There is an option to select the two values. One is reference previous and as well as one is reference variance. But I want to color it for only variance. I will, instead of all, I will select only the reference variance and I will go to this value. There is an option called conditional formatting. Rather than gradient, I will change it with rule, or I will change it with field values because we have created the field values. What is the field value that we have created? That is conditional formatting, CF revenue. I will click on this, I will click on OK. Can you see here? Now the color has been changed. If it is positive revenue, it is green color. If it is negative revenue, it is red in color. Awesome, right? So the same thing I want to do it for all the different factors. Now we have created for revenue. Now I want to create the same thing for cost, profit, quantity, number of transactions and percentage of profit margin. But this looks excellent where when I go to the different months, this is completely dynamically getting changed, even the title as well as the subtitle with the variance as the color format. Without any further ado, let me do the same thing for cost. So what is the first step I want to do it? First step, I want to create the previous month revenue. Rather than directly creating previous month revenue, in general, what we do in the industry, we again create a folders, subfolders. I will go back to the model view. In this model view, you can see here for previous month revenue, I will right click or else you can find the display folder. Go to this display folder, write down previous. So can you see here the folder has been created for previous. Even the same thing I will do it for reference revenue, reference of previous. I will click on enter. The same thing I will do it for reference of variance. Select reference of variance, write down reference of variance, click on enter. And along with that, I will also do it for conditional formatting. So CF. So excellent. I've been created multiple folders. Always whenever you are dealing with any different charts or visuals or reports, it is a good practice that you create all the calculations in one folder and then you are creating multiple subfolders over there and then you are storing the information. So when you share your reports to the client or when you share your reports to any other person or within the team, they can easily understand what exact calculations that you have been done, right? So I will go back to the report view. In the report view, I want to do it for cost. So the first step I followed is I created for previous month cost. How did I create the previous month cost? I can go it and I can select and I can do some changes here. Rather than doing it, I will re-explain it for cost, and for profit, quantity, number of transaction, I will just explain the steps how we can perform it. So I will go to this previous, I will right click, I will click on new measures. In this new measures, I will create a new measure called previous cost. Previous cost is nothing but where we are printing the calculate. What calculate does? It evaluates an expression in the context modified by filter. So it takes two arguments, one is expression and the other one is filter. So what is the expression here? That is nothing but the total cost. Total cost is your expression and the filter that you want to apply it for previous month. So to get the previous month, what I can do, you can use a function called date add. So again, I am explaining the same functionality called date add. So what date add does here? Date add takes three arguments. One is dates and the second thing is number of intervals. This is your second argument and your third argument is intervals. It is a month or year or day, etc. So it moves the given set of dates by specified intervals of time. I will provide the dates information, that is nothing but date master of date, date master of date, comma, number of interval. I want to do it for previous month. So I will write it as -1, comma, I will select the month information. Let me close this calculations. I will click on enter. So I have done this for previous cost. Now quickly you can do the same thing for profit for the July and profit for the different previous months. I will copy this. I will create a new measure. I will paste it. So I will just select this cost, Control Shift L. So it will highlight wherever the cost is created. I will change this to profit. Right. So instead of total profit, it was a gross profit. Right. Gross profit. I will click on enter. So for profit I have created. Again I will create a new measure for quantity. So I will change this, Control Shift L, total quantity. So it is telling total quantity is not present. Let me check out. So yeah, we have not given any underscore here. We have just given total quantity. That's good. So for quantity I have created. So the next is number of transactions. Let me copy paste it again. So rather than cost, I want to change this as Control Shift L, transactions. So again there is telling no transactions are present. Let me change this and let me check out number of transactions. Let me click on enter and then I have finally that is percentage of margin. So let me select this, Control Shift L, profit margin. So there is no such information. Let me select this and change this as percentage of profit margin. So this way I have performed for previous profit margin, previous cost and previous profit, previous quantity and previous month of number of transactions. So I have current month and along with that I have previous month. Now I want to do the same thing for a reference of previous month. So I will go to this reference of previous month. I will right click. I will create a new measure. So the new measure is nothing but our reference of previous. So let me drag this and see what is the folder name I have created. Reference of previous revenue I have created. So I will go back and let me change this. New measures. Reference of previous cost. So reference of previous cost, that equals, how did I find the reference of previous cost? The first thing where I create at the variable. So that is nothing but variable. So now I want to find the previous month. So I will create a variable name called previous month. Previous month. So to find the previous month, what I want to do, I want to first write down calculate selected value date master of month name, selected value of date master of month name what do you filter? You want to filter for the previous month. So, previous month of date master of date information, right? Excellent. So, we got the previous month. Along with that previous month, I also want to see the variable called previous cost is equals to previous cost. So, now I will create a return function. So, this return function should return the previous month along with the previous cost. So, before that I want to write a condition that if selected value of date master of month name is not blank, if it is not blank, then I want to print the previous month ampersand and then I want to write down ampersand of previous cost. So, let me close this and let me click on enter. So, this is successfully created. So, if you want to cross verify it, you can just select it and remove this and you can cross verify with previous cost, right. So, this is how you have created the previous cost. So, if you have not selected any previous cost, it should be blank. That's good. It has done a wonderful job. Now, I want to change this format. So, I will use format. So, what format I want to create it? I want to create in the number format, right. I will click on enter. So, yeah. So, I have created the number format. So, now I want to apply the same thing for all the different columns. So, let me do the same thing. Let me copy this entire information, Control C. So, it is telling cannot find the name called previous cost, but it is already present. So, no worries on this. Reference of previous cost, it is already present, that is fine. So, now I want to do it for profit. So, what I can do, I will right click this new measure, let me paste it. So, I will copy only the revenue, Control Shift L, wherever there is revenue I want to change this with profit. So, can you see here? So, no other manual task. So, let me click on enter. So, we have easily created for the profit. Now, I want to create it for quantity. Again, right click, new measure, paste it. I will select only revenue information, Control Shift L. So, wherever there is a revenue, it will highlight it. I will change it with quantity. I will click on enter. So, the quantity has been created now. I want to do the same thing for number of transactions. I will right click, new measures. I will paste it. I will select only the revenue, Control Shift L, number of transactions. I will click on enter. So, previous transactions, perfect. So, this is done and then profit margin. So, right click, new measure, paste it, change the revenue to profit margin, enter. So we have created for all the current month and previous month revenue, cost, profit, quantity, number of transaction and percentage of profit margin. Now I want to create the variance for all this. So I will go for reference variance. I have already created this reference variance. I will copy it. I will right click. I will click on new measures. I will paste this. Rather than revenue, I want to make cost. So Control Shift L, change it to cost. So wherever there is revenue is selected, everything will get changed with cost. So that's good. Let me click on enter. So we have done for the variance cost. I want to do this for variance profit. Right click, new measure, paste it, Control Shift L, variance profit. So there is no total profit, change it with gross profit, right? So if you get any error kind of thing, just change it, that's it. So now I want to do it for quantity. So I want to change this revenue to Control Shift L, quantity. So there is no total underscore quantity, there is a total space quantity, that's it. So just remove this information. So we have created for total quantity. Now number of transactions, right click, new measures, paste it, Control Shift L, transactions. So there is no total transactions, it seems. So let me change this total transactions to number of transactions, right? Number of transactions. Click on enter. And then percentage of profit margin. New measure, Control V. So change that revenue to percentage of profit margin. So profit margin. So rather than total profit margin, what I can do, there is an information called percentage of profit margin. So you have created for the percentage of profit margin. So you have created for each and every fields. Now finally we want to create it for conditional format. So I will go to this conditional format. I will select this formatting. I will right click, click on new measure, paste this. Rather than revenue, Control Shift L, change this for cost. Click on enter. So now I have the information for cost. I want to do the same thing for profit. Again click on new measures, change that revenue to profit. So rather than total profit, it is a gross profit. So always make sure what information you have provided at the beginning. Okay, click on enter. Next, do the same thing for quantity. So paste it and then Control Shift L, quantity. So it is just total quantity. Enter. So do the same thing for number of transactions. Paste it. Remove this revenue to Control Shift L, number of transactions. So change this to total to number of transactions. Enter. So finally we have percentage of margin. So I will rename this revenue to Control Shift L, profit margin. Profit margin. So again it is telling an error. You want to rename this as percentage of margin. Enter. So now I have created for each and every fields. Can you see here? Within 2 to 3 minutes, I am able to create for all the different fields. Just I can copy it and paste it. Just do some modification. Only you want to work for only for the one particular fields. If that field is working fine, then you can just do the same changes for all other fields. How simple Power BI is. So if you want to do the same thing for different tool, it takes a lot of time. Power BI is one of the Microsoft tool, so you have the option called Format Painter. So it will make your task more easier, right? So now I want to apply the same changes to all other information. So what I can do, I will go here for the format your visuals. I will go to the reference label because this is the reference label and the top is called callout values. In the reference label, I will change this total revenue. I want to apply it for cost. So I will change this total revenue to total cost. So none of things is selected here. I want to add June and then variance. So I will click on add values. I want to go for reference of previous cost. I don't want the title to be visible. I will switch off the title, and along with that I also want to see the variance. That is nothing but reference variance, not just variance, reference variance cost. And I want to apply the conditional formatting only for variance. I will go to this variance cost. I can see the value. In the value, there is an option called field values. Let me write as CF for cost. Click on OK. So see, just 2 to 3 clicks, guys. Almost everything is easily done. I will do the same thing for profit. Again, I want to go here. I want to change this total cost to total profit. I will click on add data. Here I want to provide the reference for the profit, for the previous profit. I don't want the title anymore. I will switch off the title. Reference for previous profit. Okay. Or else profit margin, I guess this is one. So this is your profit, right? And along with that I want to see the variance. So select this reference of variance, profit variance. So I don't want the title anymore. Let me switch off the title. I want to apply the conditional formatting for the variance profit. So let me go to this values, format your visuals. I want to go for field values. I will change this to CF of profit. I click on OK. Now easily we have done for profit. Now simple task we want to do it for quantity. The same procedure, guys. So you can just pause this video and then you can try doing by yourself, and then you can come back and you can follow the same. So go to this reference label. I will change this gross profit to total quantity. So in this total quantity, what I will do, I will click on this add data. In this add data, I will add the reference of quantity that has been sold. I will switch off the title, and then I will write down for reference of variance. So again I want to apply the conditional formatting here. So go to this reference variance and apply the conditional formatting for this. So field values, I will select the conditional formatting for the quantity. I will click on OK. So now for total number of transactions, I want to do the same procedure. I will go to this for the total number of transactions. Here click on add values. Over here write down the reference for total number of transactions. I don't want the title, switch it off. I will apply the same thing here. Reference variance of total number of transactions. I will change the color for the variance with conditional formatting, right, of transactions. So this transaction is getting changed, but that is not the case for the profit margin. So we can see how the profit margin differs. So the new column is generated here. Just let me remove this. So I don't require this. So I will change this for percentage of profit margin. Let me click on add data, reference of profit margin. So this is your profit margin. Let me switch off the title, and also I will print the reference of variance of profit margin. So 0% that has been increased, it seems. So again I will go here, rather than all, let me select the variance. I will go to values, and then I want to change this to CF for profit margin. So I can see in the profit margin it is just printing it as 1. So why is it? Let me reconfirm it. So that is printed in the reference of variance of profit margin. So it's already in the 0.00%, that is nothing but the nothing, it has been increased. So overall information is working fine. Whenever it is February, it is comparing with the previous month of sales and it is printing the results. So that's good. So let me remove all the information here. So if you want to make some changes of formatting, just you can select this. You can go to this format your visuals. So go to this layout. So if you want to add the background of your layout, you can add the background. If you want to change the callout values, you can change the callout values here. If you don't want the label to be displayed, you can stop the labels, because you can add the labels. So you can go to this card and you can change the background of this particular card. You can switch off the background, or you can switch off the border if you want. So all these options you can perform. So once this is done, what I can do, I'll create a new chart that is nothing but the category or subcategory wise revenue that is generated. So by using the pie chart, what I can do, I can create the subcategory wise revenue. So you can see here, this is printing what is the total revenue that was generated by each subcategory. You can also see for category rather than subcategory, you can provide for just category. So you can see this is the total revenue that is generated by each category. So again, if I want to format this particular visuals, you can go to this format your visuals. You can go to this slice if you want to change the color from blue and green to different colors. Let me change this color from this to whereas this color, right? So this looks better for me. I will go to the general. I will create this title and let me give this in white color text, and let me increase the particular text length, and I will make it as bold, and I will middle align it. So do I require the background of this particular chart? No, I don't require the background. So I will go to effect, I will switch off the background, but I want the border. So I will go to this border, visual borders. I will give the transparency, right? So you can see here, so these are your total revenue that was generated, but if you can see here, the value that is too light, it is not properly visible to us. So if you want to increase the value here, just go to this callout values, the detail label. So go to this values and then keep it in bold format, and you can increase it. So this is how we are able to create the pie chart. So this pie chart will help you that what is the total revenue generated by general and special category. Now we're going to create the what is the total revenue that was generated by sales representative. So what you can do, I will create a clustered bar chart, or else I will create a scattered bar chart. I will add it over here. So which help me to understand by each sales representative what is the total revenue that was generated. So let me print the sales representative name. Along with that, what is the total revenue that was generated? So these are the total revenue that was generated by different sales representative. So I want to apply the same kind of formatting to this particular chart. So instead of doing everything manually, what I can do, I can select this particular pie chart. I will go to this format painters. I will apply this formatting to this particular chart. Can you see the background color and as well as title is automatically, it has been changed due to the formatting that is applied on pie chart. Now I will change the color of this particular bar from blue to green color. To do so, you should go for the format your visuals. In format your visuals, you can find bar. So change the color of the bar from blue to green in color. Along with that, if I want to see what is the sales that was generated, you can also switch on the data labels. So I can also find the data labels. But the one problem is the sales representative size is too small. It is not visible properly. So what I can do, I can slightly increase the value of it. So it is in the y axis. I will go to the y axis. In the y axis, there is a title. So I don't want to play anything with title, but I want to play with values that is present here. So I will click on bold in format and I will increase the size if required. So easily I can see the Ravindra has done highest sales compared to all other sales representative in the month of November. Now I will create a donut chart based on the total profit that was done by different subcategory. So create a donut chart that was created based on the total profit or gross profit that was done by sales representative or say subcategories. So sales representative already we have created here. Now I will do it for subcategory. So we can see what is the gross profit that was generated by different subcategory of items. So I will apply the same formatting, go to format painter, apply the same formatting. The color of this particular chart is not changed. If you want to change this particular chart color, go to this format your visuals. There is an option called slices. Click on that slices. This will help you to print the legend color. So for extra it is blue color. If you want to change, just select it and change the color of this particular chart. For super, let me give bet green color, and for regular I will give slight more green color, and then for micro I will give this color. Along with this pie chart, what is the advantage of pie chart compared to the donut chart? What is the advantages of donut chart compared to the pie chart? In the sense, in the donut chart I can also print the information inside the circle. For example, I also want to see the total revenue. I can add the total revenue in the card. I will create a new card called total gross profit. So this is the gross profit that was generated. I will insert this particular value inside this particular donut chart. So I will switch off the label and I will switch off the background. I will minimize the particular value. To minimize these values, go to visual, call out values, minimize with 30. So add this some area. So this is the total profit that was generated. So now you can also create the total revenue by profit, quantity and as well as product name. So let me create a line and stacked column chart. So this is your line and stacked column chart. Now I will create for total revenue, gross profit. Along with that, I want to see this based on the product name. product name, and I want to print the line based on the quantity that has been sold. So I will select the quantity. So total quantity, I will add this to line chart. So it is printing the quantity, what is the quantity that has been sold. Along with that, it is also capturing the details of what is the profit and total revenue that was generated. If you want to change this color, first before changing the color, change the formatting, apply this formatting here. So let me change the color of this particular line with green color. Go to format your visuals. There is an information called line. So go to this color and change the color of line from orange to green color if required. If I also want to see marker, go to this marker and click on show marker. If you want to increase the size of this marker, you can increase it. Now I also print the data labels out of it. If you want to change the color of this particular bar, you can do it. You can go to this columns. In the columns, for the total revenue, it is printed as blue color. I will change this to green color, and for the gross profit, I will change with light green color. So visual is completely your wish. You can give any color that you require, but always try to keep minimum color. Don't give multiple colors for different charts, right? So now I also want to see the breakdown information based on the category, subcategory wise, what is the profit that was generated. So I will create a decomposition tree. So this decomposition tree will help me to understand hierarchy way. So let me select the category and subcategory wise, what is the total revenue or total cost. Let me print the total cost that was generated. So if I click on this I value, it will give me the detailed understanding of what is the category and subcategory wise revenue that is generated or cost that is generated. I can see for special and general as well. So I will go here, I will format it, apply the formatting. So headers, let me change this header with blue color, and then title, let me change this with white in color. So I can see the titles and as well as subtitles as well. So if you want to go back, you can just remove this. So this is your drill down and this is your drill down by clicking on I values. If you want to go for drill up, low values or I values. So got it? So this is the sales that is going to generate. So in the total cost that was generated is this much. So over there, what is the cost that was generated by special? In that, what is the total cost that was generated by extra? That is the detailed analysis that is printed over here. That's good. Along with that, if you want to see the scatter plot over the year, so select the scatter plot. So in this scatter plot, so let me print the scatter plot somewhere here. So what is the purpose of using scatter plot? The purpose of using the scatter plot is used to see what is the relationship between the two features, whether it is a positive correlated or negative correlated. So what I can do, I want to see the correlation between the total cost or quantity and total revenue that was generated over the different product name. So you can see what is the revenue and then what is the profit that was generated, different product name it is printing. So along with that, if I also want to see over the year how it is generated, you can select this, you can select the year and drag this year to play axis. So in the year of 2017, this is the sales that was generated In the year of 2014, 15, 16 and 17, you can see the different sales that was generated, right? I can see the difference. So this is how we can play. Along with that, if you want to increase or decrease the size of this particular circle based on the quantity, you can do it. So based on the profit, I will give this as color format or size format. So you can see this, if the bigger the size, that means the more the profit that was generated. So rather than giving to the profit, let me give it to the quantity. Yeah. So higher the quantity, higher the size, lower the quantity, lower the size. So this is the information how it is getting changed. So let me format this. I can also print the line chart, that is nothing but what is the revenue that was generated over the different month. So revenue that was generated, that is total revenue that was generated over the month wise or else day wise, date master of year. Let me extract all the date hierarchy, right? So let me drill this down or drill this up. This is the yearly wise, what is the sales that was generated. So that looks good. Let me format it. If you want to change the color of this particular line, so let me change this to green color. So I will also apply the data label and change the color to green color. Here also let me change this particular color of the bar to green color. Okay. So now the beauty of line chart is, if you want to see the quarterly wise sales, you can drill down. Here is the option called drill down. So I can see the sales based on the different quarters. If I want to see based on the different months, I can again click on this drill down button. So I can see the sales based on the particular month, 2014, 2016, 2017, etc. But your manager is asking just display only for 2016 because there is an increase in trend from 2014 to 2015, but suddenly there is a decrease of trend from 2015 to 2016. Why there is a decrease in trend? If they want to just deep dive into 2016 sales, they can click on this, turn on to the drill down, and they can click on this particular button. So here I am getting only the details of 2016. Again, I can make some analysis only for 2016. Can you see this information is only for 2016 details, not for other year. So that is the purpose of using this drill mode. So it will drill only to particular year. So these are the different ways that I can create the chart. But the problem here is, if I select the June month, can you see here? This particular monthly details is also getting changed, right? So monthly details is also getting changed somewhere like this. That means if you change this particular slicer, all the other charts should get affected, but not the line chart, because line chart is dealing based on the month and year analysis. Even the scatter plot should not get changed. So if you want to stop the interactions, you can select this slicer, go to this format. In the format, there is an option called edit interactions. Click on this edit interactions, go to this particular line chart and click on none, stop interactions. Even do the same thing for scatter plot. Close this. If you also want to do it for year, select the year, edit interactions, block the both line chart and scatter plot. So whenever you change this year, all other chart will get updated, but not the line chart or scatter plot. So that is the beauty of edit interactions. So the same way, if I want to create multiple chart, I can do it. Before doing that, let me make this background into the previous background color. Let me select the slicer I will select the format your visuals. I will go to this general. There is an option called effect. So the color of this background is white in color. So let me give this 100% transparency. So this colors as removed. So I will do the same thing for year as well. I will go to general. In general, we have effects, transparency, give it as 100%. Do the same thing for slicer as well. So this is how you can easily create a dashboard. So if you want to again add few more visuals, what you can do, you can select this, format your report. You can increase the size of this particular canvas by selecting canvas settings. Change the height from 2000 to 2500. Click on enter. So the size of this particular canvas got increased. So again you can add multiple charts here. If I also want to see the waterfall chart, I can add this breakdown analysis using waterfall chart. So I want to see based on the yearly wise, product name, add it to the breakdown, and on the y-axis let me provide the revenue that is generated, total revenue that is generated. So you can see here what is the yearly wise revenue that is generated. So you can see the data is not arranged in the proper ascending or descending order. So what you can do, I want to sort the data based on the year order of ascending. So I will click on these three dots, sort by, I want to sort it by year. So select this year information. I want to sort it in ascending order. So click on these three dots, register link, sorted in descending order. I want to sort it by ascending order. Now can you see here, the information is sorted in the form of year in ascending order. So if you want to change this formatting, again I will select this, click on this format painter. So if you want to see the what is the label, go to this format your page or format your visuals. So switch on the data labels. So you can see the data labels as well. So now what I will do, I will create a tables or matrices again by creating a new sheet or else by adding few more space in the particular reports. So always it is a good practice to keep only the 4 to 5 charts in one sheet, and you can create multiple sheets. But as in the problem statement, they have asked us to create a single report and as well as dashboard. So I am keeping all the information in the one particular sheet. I will go to this format your visuals or format your page. I will select the canvas settings. I will increase the size from 2500 to 2800. So I will click on this double tap. So the Q&A session will open to me. Q&A is nothing but question answer session. So if I ask any question, the Power BI is smart enough to give me the results. So if I click on this show category and if I click on enter, so you can see these are the two categories that is present. One is general and special. Show category wise sales or revenue, category wise total revenue. If you click on this enter, can you see here that is printing the chart based on the category wise revenue. If you want to convert this into chart, you can just click on this turn Q&A result in a standard visuals. So it has been turned the Q&A results to standard visuals. If you want to again apply the formatting, just click on this any format, apply this formatting here. If you want to change the bar color, easily you can change this bar color as well. Go to this bar and then change the color of this bar and give the data labels as well if required. So this is how you can create it. Now as I mentioned, I also want to explain the table or the matrix here. So go to this format page, canvas settings. I will provide the 3200 as the size. or 3600 as the size. Now I will create a table view or the matrix, whichever is fine for me. So if it is a matrix, I can drill down, but if it is table, I cannot drill down. That is the biggest difference between the matrix and table. Now I will select the category and subcategory, and then let me add the subcategory in the row wise. Revenue, total revenue, total cost, total profit, all this I am keeping it in the column. Along with that, gross profit, and then number of transactions and percentage of profit margin. So I can print all the details. If you want to do the detailed analysis, click on this plus icon and you can drill down this information. If you want to see this in the product wise analysis also, you can select the product as well. Try to add the product name in the row. So again, you can drill down further. So based on each product, what is the revenue that was generated? You can see here, you can drill down in this way. So for this data, if you also want to perform some conditional formatting, you can do it. To do so, go to this format your visuals. In this formatting visuals, you can select the cell elements. In this cell element, for example, for the data revenue, I want to create a icon set color. So I will select this total revenue. I will select the icon set. So here is the icon settings that has been done for the total revenue. So for the total cost, I want to create a bar. I will change this total revenue to total cost and I will click on total bar. So the data bar has been created. For the total quantity, I want to create a background color. So I can do it, change this total quantity and generate the background color. So if it is a darker color, the higher the sales or higher the quantity that has been sold. If it is lighter color, the less the quantity that has been sold. You can do the same thing for different columns as well. So not only that much, if you want to modify this particular visuals, you can do it. You can just select this. You can go to this call out values. There is an option called value size. So you can change this value size to 30. So that gives you the detailed information. So let me not change for now. Let me change for total or all. So let me give it as 30. Right. So this looks more understandable compared to the previous one. Right. So that is something about 30. So I will click on all. And if you want to change the card details, you can change this card shape to rectangle to rounded corner. So you can see the card is rounded. And border, they are asking whether we want border or not. Yes, we want the border. If you don't want the border, you can switch off the border. But actually, border looks more presentable. So select the border. And if you want to change this background, change the background as well. You can switch off the background. So you can see this looks much more better compared to the previous, right? So this is the total analysis that can be done for the particular project. So whenever I change any slicer, so this detailed information will automatically get changed. So by this visuals, one can easily present to the stakeholders to make more data driven decisions. Thank you.